Shoot, let's see. We're good. We're good. We're on. What's up, people? What's happening? Let me see here. What's going on, my brothers, my sisters? Oh, thank you for checking in. I don't know if the internet's going kind of slow right now, so if there's some delays, I apologize ahead of time. Um, Anthony, do me a favor, get up and move camera number one a little bit to the right. You see the way we're out of the camera? Hold on real quick, people. Let's get this right. Just do the handle. Just do the handle that's right there on the top, like where the camera is. Is that the handle? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Just move it over. No, the other way, the other way. Right there. Let's see. That's good, Rob? Uh, it'll adjust. Okay, that's cool. All right. Thank you guys for joining us on another episode of Trapped No More podcast. Man, as you can see, I'm wearing my Steeler gear because once again, we won. No offense to a Raider fan next to me. All right. There's any Raider fans out there, my condolences, man. On a losing season. Yeah, you guys are looking bad, man. But I appreciate you guys looking bad today. Nah, I'm just kidding, man. Just messing with you guys. I pray that you guys had a great Sunday. I want to thank all of you that have been praying for me. As you guys knew last week, I had confessed the feeling and said I was feeling sick prior to last week's podcast. Well, right after the podcast, man, I got sick very like it hit me strong that following day where I couldn't even walk. All week, literally, I was in bed. Yesterday was the first day starting to walk again, starting to eat, starting to, really just come back to myself. And today I went and preached this morning, and by faith, I felt perfect. When I say perfect, I want to say maybe I was like about 98. I still feel a little stiffness in my back, but other than that, though, I feel good. My throat feels good. Um, really no body aches or anything, man. So, I got to get better because I got to get back to work. But I want to thank all of you once again for tuning in. Don't forget to hit the like, the subscribe, hit the bell so you'll be notified every time we come on. And I just wanted what else did I want to remind you guys of, man? Real quick, man, for all of you guys that are prayer warriors, you guys pray. If you don't mind saying a quick little prayer for a beloved sister of mine named Sister Patsy. She's she's going through a surgery right now. It's like a 7-hour, 8-hour long surgery. It's a very severe surgery, and she's been in surgery since this morning at 9 o'clock. I don't know if there was any complications. I rebuke all of that, but just say a quick prayer for her if you don't mind. And other than that, man, we're gonna jump right into today's episode. Today we do have Mr. Freddy Esquivel with us.
Hello, hello, hello.
Welcome, brother. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, thank you. It's a real blessing to be here, brother. Thank you for this
Amen.
opportunity.
Amen. And let me ask you again, who referred you? I think in your initial contact, you said your grandmother,
My mother-in-law,
your
my mother-in-law,
mother-in-law.
Maria Olmedo. She's an amazing woman of God. She's my spiritual mother,
Mhm.
and it's amazing, brother. Because like when you come to God, He always puts people around you that are gonna help you grow
Mhm.
in your walk. And she's been that, bro. She's been my
Yeah.
rock, and I love her to death. And I guess she has a guy that does massages for her,
Mhm.
and I guess he knew you, and somehow they were talking, and then they gave me your information, like, "Well, call him, and you need to be on there. You got to go share your story." So
Okay.
that's the way
Yeah,
that
because
went.
I was, trying to figure out who put us in contact. So yeah, as a matter of fact, yeah. I remember so my massage therapist, his name's Jesus.
Yeah,
Yeah, and he had told me about this family, and he told me about kind of a little bit about your story or whatever. So I was like, yeah, give him my hookup, man. We'll check it out. And then we did the little mock interview, and I
yeah,
was like, man, I was like blown away by you talking about your mother and about your case and about a few different things. I was like, man, this is like deja vu. It feels like this
yeah.
dude's telling my story. Hey, Miss Turtle, I see you. I see you. Thanks for joining in. Appreciate you. And yeah, bro. So right here on Trap No More, we're a podcast that we give voice to the families of the incarcerated and them that are addicted, because usually the family members are the ones that, suffer a whole lot more than us that do time. Even though when we're doing time, we don't recognize it, right? We're just in there doing time. We're programming, we're doing what we have to do in there, while our families are out here struggling on you know getting that phone bill,
Yeah.
getting them packages together, trying to get gas money to come visit us, trying to get money for packages, you know what I mean, trying to do
Yeah.
all this hustle from behind the scenes for us, and we're just in there living rent free, just chilling with the
Yeah.
fellas, doing what we do, while our families are out here suffering. So with that being said, that's the whole birthing of trapped families, is that we want to help that family get through whatever it is they're going through. So I know you're going to share your perspective of you doing what you did and what you grew up with. If you don't mind, just starting from the beginning and tell us what life was like in Freddie's home growing up as a kid, and what the neighborhood was like your environment, your
Yeah.
surroundings. What influenced you?
Well, for me, honestly, that's my main thing. I like to be very transparent and very raw because that's one of the things I learned. That I like to be real, and I am who I am. And I know who I am now has a lot to do with who I was before, right? So growing up, I grew up in a little city called La Puente.
What? I know where that's at.
Yeah. So I grew up in a little city called La Puente, bro. And my mother and dad came from Mexico. They worked real hard, got their own house out here. They met over here. They got their own house in La Puente. And that's where I grew up. And then they continued to work hard and they ended up buying their own little business, a little restaurant in Pomona.
Okay.
And but growing up, when my mom came from Mexico, she came with her sister. And her sister had my cousins. And we grew up real close, real close. I was real close with my cousin. And we were always together every weekend, brother. And I remember he's 5 years older than me, but he was introduced to the gang life real early.
Okay.
So just growing up with him, just wanted to be like him. Always followed him around, stuff like that. And I remember when he was 15 years old, he got shot, and he ended up paralyzed. And so that just changed my whole life right there, brother.
Okay.
Because after he got shot, he got paralyzed. I remember just the whole year being in the hospital with them. He was at a hospital called Rancho Los Amigos. And right across the street is Los Padrinos.
Mm.
And I remember I like at that time, bro, I had like this anger in me. And I used to look across the street and I'll be like, one day I'm gonna be there.
Oh wow.
Like I already knew, like just I'm like, man, one day I'm gonna be there. Watch, watch. And so when he finally came out the hospital, bro, everything changed for me. I remember being in elementary and started shaving my head, started wearing the Dickies, the Ben Davis, going to school. And we used to go to all the lowrider shows and all that stuff. And at all this, bro, my mom was always like a beautiful, beautiful woman, bro. Like my mom just loved us to death. She could never see us do no wrong, right? My dad used to get mad the way I would dress and stuff like that, but and he didn't like me going to my cousin's house, and I used to use that against him.
Mhm.
I used to tell my mom like, "Man, that's my cousin," like he don't want me to be with my own family. Like, what the heck's wrong with them? And yeah, I used to turn them against each other, and but my mom could never see me doing wrong, bro. Like she just had that amazing heart, that mother heart.
Yeah.
She always loved me and no matter what. But when my cousin got shot, bro, like something grew in me that I wanted revenge, bro.
How old were you at this time?
Bro, I was in elementary, I was 10, 11.
11. Okay.
And I wanted revenge, bro. I wanted revenge. So I went out with his friends and that that's just changed everything, for me. So right after that, he ended up going to jail. And I came back home because he's from a different city. And it's like I wanted to make my own name, bro. I
Mhm.
wanted to make my own name. So started hanging around with the fellas. And in my school, my area right there in La Puente where we're at, we're surrounded, bro. I'm surrounded by West Covina. I'm surrounded by the enemies right there. And but it was fun for me, bro. Like going to school, like just getting in fights and just getting that attention. That attention was like I loved it. I loved that
Mhm.
attention. Like people were like, "Oh man, that guy's crazy. He's always fighting and this and that, and he's not scared." And I never knew fear, bro. Like I'll fight anybody. I didn't care, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And come home and I'll change the story to my mom every time, bro. Like I'll tell my mom, oh, they try to jump me, or they said just because I'm Mexican and this and that, and I was like, that was just me. And so just started like hanging around, you know, making new friends. We started like growing my little clique, and it was just like 5 of us, and really just started going off the hinges, bro. Really just started putting in work, started really getting known. To the point, I mean, the cops knew who we were. My house got raided like 13 times, bro.
Yeah.
And but they couldn't give me with nothing, bro. The
Mm-hmm.
gang unit would give me and they'll be like, what do they call you? And I'm like, Freddy. They're like, no, what do your homies call you? I go, Mr. Esquivel. And they used to get mad, bro, because they wanted to put me in the gang file. And I'm like, bro, I ain't for no gang. I ain't for no gang. And so they couldn't give me, bro. So we just kept on doing our thing. I remember all my friends used to come to my house. My mom used to cook for all of them, bro. Like they were hungry or whatever. And man, she would just start hooking everybody up with food, bro. Like she was an amazing mom, bro. Like I honestly I came from an amazing family, but it was my choices, bro. It was my choices that really messed my life up at that time. And I remember since I started 10 years old, bro, just getting in fights, doing stuff, and going to we used to go to car shows, bro. That's when I mean they still allow the car shows in Almani and stuff like that. And we'll see our enemies over there, and just it was man, we got the Almani one shut down for good.
Mm-hmm.
Just fighting over there, and it was bad, bro. And at all this, bro, I was still a little kid. Like
Yeah.
I see my kids now, and I'm like, dude, what I was doing at their age is crazy.
Yeah.
I remember at 16, I got my license. And I told my mom, like, my mom had a minivan. I like, Mom, let me borrow the van. I got my license. I filled it up, bro. And at that time, we used to start school in Labor Day in September. So that weekend, we take off to TJ. I take all the homies to TJ on the minivan, bro.
Dang, at 16 years
At
old?
16 years old, bro. And so
Dang.
I got like 14 years old, 15-year-olds, 16-year-olds in the minivan, bro. And we're going deep. And we cross the border, we go, and it's like everybody's out there, bro. Everybody was out there. It was like Revolution Street was packed out. 2 in the morning, people are just partying like crazy, and we're all kids, bro.
Yeah.
So we're like right there in the clubs, and
So,
somehow
so
we,
let me ask you something. So you guys already knew how to like get back, like have birth certificate, ID cards, or
bro, we didn't have nothing. I just had my license.
oh, you had your
I
license?
just have because I had barely got my
Yeah.
license, right? So we go and we're over there. I mean, getting drunk, getting just wasted, and partying and stuff like that. And we partied for 3 days straight. And then I remember coming back, bro. But you gotta understand, that time we're all bald, we're all gangstered out, you know. I had some of the homies just knocked the heck out in the back. And then the when we're crossing back, the immigration officer was like, "Hey, American." All we had to say was American citizen, right? And one of the guys was just out, bro. He was just out, and I'm like, "Hey, just wake up, say American citizen, fool, say American citizen." And and the immigration officer just seen us, he's like, "Get the heck out of here!" They didn't even want us over there, brother. Like, get the heck out of here.
Dang.
And so we came back, and the van broke down, bro. That Monday, we just overheated it, killed the transmission, everything.
Yeah.
And just to say that, bro, it was crazy that the stuff we were doing at that age, bro. You know what I mean? Like, just we thought we were unstoppable,
Yeah.
going everywhere. I remember, bro, going to school, and at that time they had night school, right? If you're failing a class, and I
Mm-hmm.
remember standing outside the portable right there at Nogales High School. They had little portables, and some man passed by, bro, and it was my enemy. So he threw up his sign, I threw up mine, and he pulled out a gun, bro, and started chasing me through the school.
Oh, dang.
And I ran inside to the little portable, and I'm like locking the door, and he's over there kicking the door, and I'm like still telling him off, right? Because the door is locked. So I'm like, you can't come in here. So I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you. And all the students are looking at me, bro, like, what the heck is going on?
Yeah.
And for me, that was a regular day, though. That was a regular day, bro. It's like getting shot at or getting involved in stuff like that. That was regular. That was a daily basis
Mm.
thing. And I remember my mom telling me, like, mijo, like, what's going on? Like, just give it a God. And I'm like, Mom, I'm trying to survive right now. Like, you're over there, give it a God, give it a God. It's not that easy, Mom. Like, I'm
Mhm.
trying to survive. Like, dude, I have bullet holes outside my house. You know what I'm saying? Like, when people just go, they try to hit up outside my house, and there was a big old thing, bro. And, like, people know who I was, so they would go and attack my house. So we had to make sure we were out there. And at the same time, trying not to, you know, protect my mom and dad, bro. Like making sure nothing happened to them. Like
Did it ever cross your mind though that you were putting your family in danger by marking your house and having the homies around there and whatnot? Did or at that time you weren't even really thinking about all that?
that's the thing, bro. Like inside down and deep in the middle. Like I remember one time, bro, my house getting raided at 3 in the morning. And then when they brought out my dad was in his underwear, bro. They brought him out handcuffed. That broke my heart, bro. I
Mhm,
felt like, man, I'm such a disappointment. Like, you know what I mean? Like, here's this man that worked hard all his life and they're dragging him out. Like, I really felt like, man,
just a lot of shame, huh?
a lot of shame, a lot of hurt, but then a lot of hatred for the cops, bro. Like, it wasn't my fault, it was their fault.
Mm,
That's the way my mentality started changing, you know? Like, it was not my fault, it's them. They're jerks. They're
yeah.
jerks, you know?
By this time though, I'm assuming that your mom and dad already knew the activities that you were involved in. So did they used to get on you? Like, man.
My dad used to get on me and my mom wouldn't. Like, the school, they try to expel me. The cops would try to come because they would try to put cases on me, bro.
Mhm,
And my mom would be like, they'll be like, look at Senora, look at your son. Like, this is what he's done and show a picture, bro. And then my mom would be like, show me one picture of him doing it.
mm,
Show me one picture of him doing it. They're like, well, we don't have one then. It's not him. It's
mm,
not him. And then all my friends, everybody, bro, we were close, bro. Like, you know, so they would come, they would call her mom and she would come home with the groceries, they'll help her unload the car, you know. We were all like just very respectful with our own stuff, you know. Like my neighborhood right there, bro. I would leave my car outside with the keys on, ain't nobody touching it. Like we made sure nobody stole from nobody around there, you know. So it was always like somebody else would come and hit up on the walls. They're the ones writing. We didn't even like writing on the walls, bro, because like we're not gonna destroy our own place, you know.
mhm,
Only if they came. So people they knew that. They knew that hey, your stuff is safe here. You know, just work with us. We work with you. We're good.
mhm,
But at that time, bro, I just really got into some, you know, just more violent stuff, bro. I remember
mhm.
just fighting at school all the time, bro. Just being the main one. Just if I saw an enemy, it was on flight, bro. That was it.
So
Like,
how long did you last in high school before you got expelled or
bro, this is the crazy part. I remember being 15 and
Mhm,
being tired already, bro. Like I was just exhausted already of the gang life. I was like, man, and I was just 15. And I'm like, bro, this is like every day. And I remember I used to have like, you know, everybody has them, bro. Like the older homies that would come on the weekend and just drink and wanna, you know,
mhm,
now they wanna do stuff. And it was like, bro, we're doing this every single day, bro. Like, where you guys at on Monday? Where you guys at? You want to start stuff on Saturday, but we're doing this every single day.
mhm,
And I was just like tired already, bro. So at 15, I went to go see they had a the Marines had came to the school.
mhm,
So I started talking to them and they're like, "Oh, wow, you could build a life and stuff like that, you know." And by that time my house had already been raided. I had people, you know, trying to pin stuff on me, you know, witnesses going up there and it was like, "What's going on, bro? Like this is not the way it's supposed to be." So my escape route was gonna be like, hey, I'm gonna join the Marines and become something, you know, that make my mom and dad proud.
mhm.
And that was gonna be my plan, bro. I was gonna supposed to graduate at 17 and a half and go to Camp Pendleton, finish my test and it's just life had other choices, bro.
Yeah, so what ends up happening? So
So by this time, bro, no charges had ever stuck to us, right? And then I remember literally, I'm 16 years old now, and we're getting ready for prom, bro. So it's like me and all our friends, we're gonna go to prom. We have like the best of everything, right? We're setting up. And I remember they went to my house and they're like, "Hey, let's go for a ride." And somebody said like, "Man, he can't go," because I was supposed to meet some girl or something. Like, "Oh, he can't go." I'm like, "What you mean I can't go? I'm driving now." So I jump in the driver's seat, bro, and we go around the block. And then the hoodies just came out of nowhere. They blocked us in. Like I had nowhere to go. They blocked us in. They take us out of the car and they end up finding a gun in the back seat.
Mhm,
But it's five of us in the car. So the three guys in the back are on parole. The guy in front, he's an adult, and I'm like the only minor that has nothing on him. So I'm like, bro, I'm clean, I'm cool, you know. And they're like, "Well, whose gun is it?" Like, "I don't know, bro. I just got in the car. It's not my car. Whose car is it?" I don't know. I didn't say nothing. Like, "Oh, well, we're gonna lock you up." Like, "Well, let's go." And I'm thinking, like, they gotta let me go, bro. They can't hold me.
Mhm.
They don't. I know, bro. They took us to jail. They took us to Los Padrinos. They took us to the station, and then so they're interviewing everybody, right? And everybody's saying like, "No, we don't know nothing, bro." And it was funny. We're in the industry station, and right there when they take you to the interview room, there's a little button on the wall. And I was bored, bro. Like I'm a kid, I'm bored. I'm like thinking, what the heck? So I pushed that button, bro. I'm like, what is this button for? Bro, that's that code blue button. So like if the cop is,
Everybody came running in.
bro, everybody comes in, they're like, what the heck? And ready to beat me up, brother. Like, why you push that button for? I'm like, I don't know what it was. They're like, well, you thought it was for coffee. That's like in case they, cop is in
Emergency.
trouble.
Yeah.
So that's me, bro. 10 minutes later, I hear it again. One of my homies did the same thing, bro. All three of us end up doing it.
Oh shoot.
And it's like, we were just in a whole different trip, bro. Like, we just did not care for authority whatsoever, bro. We thought we were invincible. We get to LP, and then it's like, we see each other, right? So they make you shower and they give you the clothes or whatever. And we're like, oh man, this is cool. We're together now, this and that. And then they separate us to different units. And over there is like automatic, bro. You're fighting.
Mhm.
You're fighting. As soon as you get there, you're fighting. And then so the first night they send us to a room. The second night you go to infirmary. And right there I saw the enemies right away. So it's like, and it's so ridiculous, bro, because over there you're fighting on your knees, bro. Like you have to get below the counters or whatever. So some guys in his knee calling me out, like, what the heck? Like, what's wrong with them, you know? So I run up there and just take off on them. And so they separate me. They start taking me to another place. And
Wait,
then
wait a minute. Let me get this straight because this is new to me, right? And I spent like 3 years in juvenile hall. So you said you had to fight on your knees?
on your knees,
Is
bro.
that because it's lower than the counter where they
We're at
can't
the counter,
see?
yes.
So the whole purpose is to drop low and
Drop
just
and just start
just go
fighting,
face,
bro.
chest, and
Everything, bro. But on your knees.
on
And
your
it's
knees.
like, you know, and it gets better, bro, when you go to campus.
Oh
You
my
wouldn't even
goodness.
believe
Yeah,
the
I never
stuff.
I never heard of that one before. That's a trip.
So that was just in the infirmary, right? And
Okay.
then so that happens, bro. And then they put you in school over there, right? So you go to
Mhm.
school, and little did I know that just when you walk into a room and somebody stomps the floor, they're stomping you out, bro. And you're supposed to like take off on them on site. And I'm
Mhm.
like, what the heck? So sure enough, like I would walk in and I heard it, and then they're like, bro, they're stomping your neighborhood out. And I'm like, what? Boom, fighting, bro, again.
Hey, let
So
me ask you, Freddie, what year was this?
this is we're 96.
Oh, 96. Okay.
96,
So
bro.
this is like 7, 8 years after I was there. So I'm just trying to put the time
Yeah.
frame in.
Yeah, I was in Los
Okay.
Padrinos. I was in DEF or EF, the where the older guys were.
Mhm.
And then so we go start going to court, bro. So it ends up being that one of the guys that was there, he said that, he said whose gun it was. He said that I had more guns in my house. And so, because I remember like calling home, because they give you a brown phone call, right? Where you call home. And my mom's like, what did he do? What did he do? And I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, they came, Freddie. They came from everywhere. They destroyed the house. And I honestly thought it was my enemies, bro. I thought my enemies went and broke in, bro, because they were after me bad, you know? And I was like, what do you mean, mom? She's like, they came from everywhere, Freddie. But that's the first time I heard it just broken, bro. Like,
Mm.
they came from everywhere. They destroyed the house, Freddie. And I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like, yeah. And they found some stuff. And I'm like, what? She's like, yeah, the cops came and this and that. So then they separate me. And I was supposed to get 3 months, bro, for the gun in the car because I was the driver. And then they were trying to make me admit that there was other guns in the house, but they never found nothing, bro.
Mhm.
They just found like bullets and stuff like that. And so the whole thing was like, 2 3 months and come out.
Mhm.
Well, then they're sending me to Camp Gonzalez, bro, and I ended up coming out a year later.
Oh shoot.
Just all the fights. And in camp, bro, it's the same thing. As soon as you walk in, you gotta represent. You're one day in the hole. In Camp Gonzalez, that one's the lockdown. That's the lockdown one. And then so you're in the hole the first night, and then you come into the beds where the bed area is at. And then Yeah, there were some enemies there, bro. So in the night, same thing, bro. It's like you get up, you raise your hand to go to the restroom, and over there, like there's a wall and then there's the windows. So you have to get behind the wall to fight.
Mhm.
So again, it's like on your knees, bro. So the whole time is on your knees, bro.
Oh, shoot.
And then, bro, you see fights that are crazy, bro. There's people using the restroom and the fools take off on them like, bro, what the heck is going on, bro? So and then some of the homies ended up showing up there. So it's like you said in the beginning, bro. For me, it was like, bro, I'm just chilling with the homies now, like all the people know who we were, like we were getting our respect. We would get visits, like my mom would come and visit me. And then over there, they would do like a little barbecue and sell you hamburgers or candies or whatever for
Mhm.
your visit. And my mom would buy like everybody candies, bro. Like, and they would tell me, all the homies would be like, bro, if I had a mom like yours, bro, I wouldn't even be doing this, bro. Like, wow, why you like this? And I'm like, what do you mean, bro? This is who I am. This is who I am. But it used to stick with me. Little stuff like that used to stick to me, bro. Like, why am I like that? Like I had like parents that were good to me, but it was just something inside of me, bro. It was just that hate, that anger that, someone took my cousin's feet away from me.
Mhm.
And I'm just trying to make a name for myself, bro. So at that time, I'm in camp. All my friends go to prom. They all have the night of their lives, bro. And now I'm in camp, bro. So I came out even,
Does that make you feel all jacked up?
bro. I was mad. Bro.
Hey, I don't know if you remember this show. There was a show during, the '90s, which was called, 90210.
Yeah,
I remember watching them go to prom, and I was wondering, like, because the last grade I went to was ninth grade. That was the last grade I went to, so I didn't even really do anything, and that was only 2 months of high school.
yeah,
You know? But I remember watching that show and be like, "Dang, that looks cool," you know what I mean? It looked like fun and everything. I was like, "Dang, I'll never go to a prom," you know? So,
yeah.
I could picture you, like, being in there and maybe calling home, they're like, "Hey, yeah, we went to the prom," or whatever. You're like, "Dang, man, and I'm stuck with all these fools."
Bro, and that my main thing was like, cause I was the first one, like, to get all my homies in and stuff like that, and really like that would talk to the girls at school and everything. So it was like my prom, bro. I got them all hooked up,
Mm,
and now I can't even go. So that's what threw me off, bro. I was like, man, that's messed up. Like they're all at prom having the time of their life doing kid stuff, and I'm in here with these bunch of dudes, bro.
I know that feeling.
Yeah.
So
So
what happens after camp? You finally get out after a year, and what do you go back to school? Do you end up finish school or
well, the thing when I went to camp, when I finally got sentenced to camp, bro, the Marines, the guy that was recruiting me, he was trying to fight for me, bro. He was trying to be like, "Hey, let him go into our custody," and and they had denied it, bro. They denied it. So, and in my mind, that was my escape route, right? That was my like, I'm gonna do good, and they took that away from me, bro. And I'm
you talk
like,
about when you first got sentenced to camp,
yeah,
the recruiter was trying to get you
get
released to
you
their custody.
instead of going to camp, so I wouldn't have a felony on my record.
Mhm,
He was trying to give me. So during the whole camp session, that's why I didn't really care about their rules or whatever because they took something away from me. That was my escape route. That's how I was gonna make my mom and dad proud.
mhm.
And they took that away. So when I came out, industry was on me, bro. The industry sheriffs, they were like, bro, they raided my house twice within the first week that I was home.
Mm.
And then with probation once and then them on their own. And so I was like, forget this, man. So by the second week, they just went to pick me up and they're like, "Oh, you violated already, this and that." And then so they take me to county, bro. They're like, "Okay, well, you're already gonna be 18, so we're gonna try you as an adult." And I was like, "For what?" They're like, "Probation violation." I'm like, "What the heck did I do?" Bro, I never to this day know what the heck that charge was. They just took me to the county.
Mhm.
But in my mind, I was like, all right, so I already handled camp. See, I had never been to jail or nothing. I used to hear all these stories, but never been there myself. Now I'm going to county and it's like, man, I messed up, bro. Now I'm going with the big boys. Like, man, how is this gonna work? And to my surprise, bro, it was like, man, a lot of homie love. It's like over here, you ain't gotta fight. It's like what the it was just love, bro, from the homies and stuff like that. They was like the little homies here, and much love and stuff like that. And I remember when they picked me up, bro, I was coming out of the shower, so I just had my pants and I just heard knocking on my door. So when they picked me up, I just had my pants. I had no shirt, no shoes, nothing. So at that time, they still had shoes in the county. So I remember some guy got beat up for his shoes, and they passed them over to me. They're like, "Here, little homie, you need to have shoes on, this and that." And I'm like, "Cool, bro." Like, I'm like, "All right." And so I started seeing stuff, bro, and I'm like, "Man, I could really do something here, bro." And for me, it was like I remember growing up seeing American Me, Blood by Honor, Colors, and it was like, I want to do that. I want to be that guy.
Mhm.
And this was my chance, bro. So it was like now I'm in the county, they give me a little trustee job, so I'm able to walk around the cells cleaning up. So it's like, hey, we need this done, bro. Whatever. So always volunteering, bro. Always picking up my hand, like, let's go, let's do this.
Mhm.
And just that respect, that love you got, bro. I mean, just makes you feel like, man, this is all right,
Like you found your purpose, huh? This is what I was called to do.
bro. I felt I belong somewhere. I
Mhm.
felt like, man, these guys. At that time, you think, oh man, these are your homies right here. They love you. They got your back. I belong, and it's all good, bro. It's all good, and I didn't even care about what's going on in the outside no more. It's like whatever, bro. This is it right here, and I'm gonna make a name on myself.
Yeah.
And yeah, bro. What was supposed to be 2 weeks ends up being like 3 months, and then I learned how to like go to different levels of the county. Like you just get lost, right? When they send you somewhere, you're
Mhm.
supposed to follow like the yellow line or the blue. I you start going on to other lines and going to my own places, bro. I remember I got the county locked down twice.
They were looking for you?
You're looking for me, bro, for during count, and that's a no, bro. But I had to go through stuff, so it was like, but it was just funny to
And
me,
this was
like,
all for a violation case.
yeah, bro.
Mhm.
Which it was like the guy from Pomona violated me for no reason, bro,
Mhm.
and never even know what the charge was, but just because little stuff here and there, I was supposed to do 2 weeks and come back out without no probation.
Oh, wow.
And that didn't happen. 3 months later, it's like, okay, I come out with probation again. And I was like, what the heck was that case for? But, came out and just really started hooking up with my cousin again. But now it's like I'm from my gang, he's from his gang, and now I'm showing him like, hey, bro, I'm on somebody now, like
Mhm.
that was my whole thing too. I wanted to prove to him, like, hey, I could stand on my own 2 feet, bro.
Was that cousin the brother of the cousin that got killed?
No, he got paralyzed.
Oh.
My cousin, till this day, he's still
Oh, the one
paralyzed.
that got shot was
He got,
paralyzed. Oh, that's
yeah,
why you said he took his feet or
it
whatever.
it took his legs,
Oh,
bro.
okay, okay.
It took his legs, and so for me, it was we start hooking up, and I'm pushing him everywhere in the wheelchair, bro. We're going everywhere,
Mhm.
everywhere. Like by that time, I'm driving already too and everything. So you just pick him up, throw the wheelchair in the back, let's go. And yeah, bro, and him, the way he was, bro, he was just more for him. He lost his legs, so he honestly, now that I think about it, he just had no reason to live. So he's
Mhm.
just like a crazy guy. Like you're looking at him sideways, he's like already in your face. Like he didn't care.
Mhm.
He does not care, bro. I mean, after he got in the wheelchair, he's done like 5 terms already
Dang.
on a chair, bro. Like he just don't care, bro. For stealing cars, for like the
What the heck?
in a wheelchair, bro. He's the one that taught me how to get into a first one, bro. And it's like, really?
That's crazy.
But it's just, and his mom, if I wasn't at my house, I was at his house. So his
Mhm.
mom raised me, bro. I got a lot of love for her, for my uncle,
Yeah.
and then him. And so those are the things, bro, that just I started learning how to just be, have no emotion towards stuff. It's like it's us or them,
Mhm.
basically. And he's the one that taught me, bro. Like, I'd rather get caught with something than get caught without it.
Mhm.
So like all my cases after that were like guns, bro.
Oh, wow. So what happens after you get out of that violation? You get back out there with your cousin, you start, messing around again, then what happens?
Bro, trip out on this. I meet this girl, right?
Mhm. And by now you're 18, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I meet this girl and we go out, bro, and she's the first girl that tells me no.
Mhm.
Right? She tells me like no, and then I'm like, all right, whatever. I'm like, you want to do some dope? You want to get drunk? And she don't do none of that. And I'm like,
Mhm.
what? There was something different about her, bro. And I'm like, all right, I see you. So I started dating her, bro. But she was different than all the other people we party with,
She was a challenge for you now.
bro. Yeah, it was like, what you mean no? Like what the heck?
Don't you know who I
Yeah,
am?
right.
Shoot.
That's what I'm
I was
thinking in my
running the
head.
trusty module. What's up?
And so yeah, bro, we end up hooking up and everything. And but she's like real, like bro, just amazing woman, bro. And I was like, why you? I still didn't understand, and I'm like, you're not gonna change me, you're not gonna change me. Like girls always think they're gonna be the ones to change you. So I was like, okay, whatever. And then she ended up getting pregnant, and I got my first trip to state. And I called her up and I was like, you know what? You do you, and I got to do my time, because I'm not going to be worrying about you being with so and so or whatever. Like, I can't do that. I need to concentrate on doing my time. Like, I can't have no connections on the outs.
Mhm,
She's like, no, I'm not going to leave you. I'm going to wait for you. I'm going to wait for you. And I'm like, bro, I'm going to state. Who knows when I'm going to come out?
mhm.
No, they only give you so much. I'm like, trust me, it's not going to be that much time. Like, just do you. And, I think honestly that was a huge impact in my life because I remember showing up to Delano and just thinking like, man, she was just stuck in my head, bro. Like, what the heck? Like, why doesn't she want to just do her own thing? For me, it's like I always knew, bro, that the only way people could get to me is through other people. Because me and you, let's go heads up. Let's do whatever we gotta do. I don't care. So, and if I don't have no one that I care about, then you can't hurt me, bro. That was my thing, and now I'm tripping over this girl, and I was like, man, I remember being in Delano and just like, how they'll play oldies at night,
Mhm,
and I'll be like, just start writing letters, bro. So I started writing her letters, and she would write back, bro, and just connected with her like at a whole different level, bro. Like I'm like, man, this girl would be the one, bro. But you gotta understand, at this time I'm 18, and in my eyes, is like either I'm sentenced to life by the time I'm 25, or I'm dead.
mhm.
It's just that bad. It's like I can't be in the streets just like with my girl or nothing. It's just bad, bro. And there's like, man,
So what was this new case for you being sentenced to state? What was that about?
a gun.
Oh, it was another
Yeah,
gun possession.
I got another gun possession, bro. And then so it wasn't violent. So it wasn't like no nothing high points or nothing like that. It was my first term. So they sent me to Delano, and then Delano they have like a little side ranch or whatever. But in Delano, when you go, they send you into the module first, and then you go to the infirmary.
Mhm,
And then when you go to the infirmary, that's when you meet up with all these other people. And then there was some guy just talking a lot of mess, bro. You know, so I ended up taking off on him. And at this point, I mean, I knew that everything was different over there, right? And I'm thinking in my head, like, man, I messed up, bro. Like, I didn't get no clearance or nothing. And I guess this fool was just trying to get off the yard. So they put you, like, they pepper spray you, they put you in boxers in a cage,
mhm,
and they put you out there, both of you. And I remember like just being there, bro. And then like the homies passing by, like throughout the day, because they left me there all day.
mhm.
The homies passing by, like, oh, that's Freedom Holmes. Hey, you took care of that fool and this and that. Like all these other fools didn't jump up, but you did. Like we saw you. That's and I was like, bro, I like that, bro. Like, man, I got the big homies, like, like
You
gave me
like the
props,
attention.
bro. Like, yeah.
Mhm.
And they're like, all right, homie, like, hey, you need something, whatever you go, and let them know that so and so said this and so and I'm like, bro, that just pumped up my chest a little higher. I'm like, all right, this is it. This is what I was looking for, like that respect, bro. That all right, I could do this, bro. So just going in there, bro, that's same thing, bro. You know, hey, what needs to get done, what we gotta do.
Yeah.
And knowing damn well, it was like my first case, bro. I never been nowhere. I never that didn't know, bro. But just hanging around with all the right people. Hey,
Yeah.
whatever you guys need done, let's go. And like I said, it was always a lot of love, bro. A lot of love. So I like that. At the same time, it's like I got this girl, she's pregnant, and she's sending me letters, bro. And I'm like, I gotta cut it off. I
Yeah.
gotta end it. And then I remember calling her house, bro. And then her her stepdad answered the phone. She's like, oh, she's having the baby. And I'm like, what? She's like, yeah, she's having the baby right now. Try to call later. So later on, I was able to get the phone, and they connected me to her, bro. And it was like, I guess she was having complications. And once she heard my voice, bro, like she had the baby, but then they said like the baby had a little hole in his heart,
Oh
and
wow.
there was complications, right? And bro, I just felt bad. I felt like, man, like now I have this kid, and this kid needed me, bro, and I'm over here doing all this other stuff. Like, what the heck, you know? So I'm like, all right. So that messed with my head a lot, bro. That really messed with my head a lot. So I'm like, you come out and you think, okay, I'm gonna do good now. You know, I need to do good. I gotta provide for this girl. I gotta provide for this kid. And like I said, my mother-in-law like welcomed me to her home right away, bro. And the trip thing was that she lived in the enemies, bro. And right away they found out I was out. So they go over there and try to threaten the house and stuff like that. And I call them out, bro. I'm like, what's up? Like, let's run it, you know? Let's run out. Like, I'll take three on you at a time. Let's go. Let's run it. And they're like, oh no, no, you gotta move. This is not like, bro, bring me your big home and let's do this, you know? And they're like, nah, they didn't want to run it, bro. So I'm like, whatever, bro. So I ended up putting that house in danger. So I had to move out of there. And right after that, she got pregnant again. So it's like now I had two kids. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna try to work in my life together. You know, I gotta provide now. Now I got
How old are
her.
you at this time now?
Now I'm like 20,
Like 20? So
20.
you ended up doing like 2 years on that gun
Yeah,
charge?
yeah.
Okay.
So now I'm like 20, and I'm like, all right, trying to work. You know, my mother-in-law at that time, she used to be like she used to have trucks. So I used to go up, unload trucks and stuff like that, make some money, right? But at all this, bro, I was lost. You know, like I'm trying to change, but that's all I knew, bro. You know, for me, if I ever went to buy shoes, it was Nike Cortez, bro. Those were the shoes that would get me excited. Like, oh man, a fresh brand new Nike Cortez. Those were my shoes, bro.
Mhm.
I the way I dressed, we used to wear like the 50s, bro. 50 creased up, your shirt's creased up. Like, that's all I knew. So now I'm trying to change, but I don't even know how, bro.
Mhm.
It's like I'm trying like to be out there, productive member of society, but don't even know how. I'm checking into my parole officer and I'm like, you know, doing everything I got to, bro. And he's still looking at me like, bro, you still messing around. Like, no, I'm not. Like, he's all like, look at you. And I'm like, what? Like, but it's because, bro, that's all I knew.
Yeah.
I didn't know how to change. Like, I was so lost, bro. Like, I tried to wear pants that fit me and I couldn't, bro. It was like, bro, I felt like if I bend over, they were gonna rip or something. Like, that was just not me, bro. Like, it just felt so weird. Like, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. And then I was trying not to be out there with the homies too much, but they were always the homies. You know what I mean? Like, we had to go do something, and they always knew, like, hey, if they need me, I'm there.
Mhm.
So, damn, got another violation, you know, another gun charge. And it was like, okay, go back in. At this time, a couple years had passed by. I'm already like 25. And then so my other son, she was pregnant with my other one. And then so now I'm about to have like three kids already, bro.
Yeah.
And it's like I'm not even supposed to be active, but I'm more active than the fools out there, you know?
Yeah.
It's like because I just did not know how to stop. And I tried to change my life and I just couldn't. And honestly, if I go back now, bro, and looking at it, is you said it key, bro. For us, for me, it was like, bro, you're in there just kicking out the homies and playing domino, bro, playing cards. That's how I got into sports, honestly, because you start like that's the thing, right? Like there's a game on, you start gambling, stuff like that. Like before that, I used to use wear Raiders all the time, bro, just because I like the colors.
Mhm.
And I used to hate it, bro. When I'll go to the store and somebody be like, "Oh, do you like so and so and this?" And I'm like, "What the heck are you talking about, bro? Like, why you even coming at me, bro? Like, you know, like don't
Yeah.
even talk to me, bro. Like, I don't know who the heck that is." But it was just that was, bro. I
Yeah.
just like the Raiders. I like the colors, bro. It was just that I wouldn't even wear Dodgers back then, bro, because it was like, you know, they were sporting a certain letter or it was LA, bro, and we were SGV, so I wouldn't even wear that, you know. And it was like, bro, now I see like how blinded we were, bro. You know how that lifestyle just gets you in a certain spot and thinking in there we're like, you ain't gotta worry about no bills, bro. You
Yeah.
know, it's like you have food, and if you ain't got food, somebody's doing a spread, bro. You know, someone is like hooking you up, or you're hooking somebody up, or you guys just living life, you know?
Mhm.
Like you get a little cup of coffee, bro. You're able to get on the handball court. It's all good, bro. Like you're chilling with the homie.
Yeah.
Never realizing what the families are going at it out here, bro.
Yeah.
You know, scraping up. My mom just broke. My mom never used to drive in the freeway, bro. And she got on the freeway used to go visit me in jail.
Dang.
And my dad, once he opened his restaurant, he never closed one day out of the year, bro. Every day he would work.
Oh, wow.
And he went to visit me once, bro. And bro, that just broke me. Like he couldn't even look at me. And then at that time, there was a song that came out from Los Tigres del Norte,
Mhm.
and it was like Mi Sangre Prisionera, right?
Mm.
And then the song is crazy, bro, because he's all like, the song says that, like, I didn't realize, but the streets ended up educating my son, and they gave me a diploma from jail, like,
Mm.
and that's the way he saw me. Like, he saw his son just a jailbird, bro.
Yeah.
And I remember like his family, my uncles and stuff like that, they're all from Mexico. So to them, it was like very, it's like, we will call them paisas, and they didn't like cholos, bro.
Mhm.
So they'll like be like, man, why is he dressed like that? Why is he like that, bro? So I didn't like them. They didn't like me. I didn't like them, bro.
Mhm.
So I always caused problems for him with that in that area, So it was nothing that he could really be proud of. Nothing that he could be proud of. But my mom was opposite, bro. My mom was like, she'll go to bat for me, bro. Say something bad about me, even to this day, bro. Tell her something bad about me, she'll be in your face.
She sounds like my mom. Yeah. My mom was the same way. But yeah, so okay, so you got your 3rd kid now. You got out after doing that other violation. And did they start giving you enhancements after, because it sounds like
No,
you did like
so
3 different terms for guns. Did they
I,
start
I
enhancing you?
not
Striking
yet,
you?
not yet,
You saying not yet.
not
Oh,
yet, bro. Because it was like, honestly, the good
yeah.
thing was that none of us were violent.
Yeah.
Nothing was violent, bro. It was like they will raid the house and find a gun.
So they weren't striking you.
No, because it
Yeah.
was, and the,
There was nothing linked to the gun
bro, they would raid my house for something else, and then they would have to drop that case.
just to stick with the gun
So
case.
they could just use the gun, but I mean, the reason they raided my house, I remember they raided my house looking for a certain gun, and it was like they got all happy because they found another gun, and they thought, oh, this is the one. This is the one that was used in that case. And I wouldn't say nothing on it, bro. Go ahead. They'll take me in and everything. And then once we're at court, they'll figure out, well, that's not even the gun,
Mm.
you know?
But they never try to strike you at all, though? I mean, not strike you, but enhance you like a felon with a firearm or nothing like that?
No,
No?
no, because by that time, like I said, it was just because they found the gun, but
Mhm.
they didn't find like, it wasn't in use. It wasn't no violence.
Mhm.
That was the only thing that I think that kept me safe, that it was no violence, bro. That,
I would think that they would try to hang you, though, especially, like, you're on parole, you already had a gun case, they're gonna hit you with at least, what I mean, like a 2, 3-year enhancement or something.
well, that did happen
Mhm.
afterwards. So now by this time, I remember my first son was 10 years old already, bro.
Mhm.
And when he was 10, he developed a little ball on his neck. And when he developed that ball, bro, it was just growing. It started growing and growing, right? And so I looked it up. Bro, never look up stuff, bro. Never. Right away, it was like, oh, it looks like a golf ball. It's a tumor. This and that. They're gonna have to operate. He's not gonna be able to talk. And I start freaking out, bro. I'm like, what the heck? Like, for me, I like being in control of stuff. If you take away that control from me, I freak out, bro. It's like,
Mhm.
I don't like it. I do not like it. And for him being 10 years old, bro, right away my head starts thinking like, man, God, if you're gonna punish him because of me, like punish me. Don't get at my kid. Like, what the heck, bro?
Mhm.
And then, but that time though, my wife was already going to church, bro. My wife was going to church for like 4 years, trying to like get her life together for the kids.
Yeah.
She's like, she was already getting tired of it. We're living at my mom's house, and she's just getting tired of it, bro. And she's trying to get a better life, and she's going to church, and she's even asking because she's praying, she's asking God, and she's asking like, how long, how long
Mhm.
is it gonna take, for him to like change? It's already been for years. She was already getting to that point.
Yeah.
And I remember they would do like little stuff at the church, like for Father's Day and stuff like that. And one time she got me to go, bro. And on the way over there, the car breaks down. And I
Mm,
threw such a hissy fit, bro. I was like, because I'm coming all the way over here to this church. Look at my car's messed up now. Now I had to fix it and this and that. And blaming it all on her, bro. It was her fault and everything. I was like, you could go to church. I'm like, I need to work. I need to provide. I
mhm,
don't have time to go to church with you. Like, you guys, you want to be there on Sundays, Wednesdays, Fridays, Saturdays. Like, I'm like, that's a cult. Like, what's wrong with you? You know, like, and I would use the word against her, bro. Like, I used to use the word. I'll be like, doesn't the word say like where three or more are gathered, like he's there? I'm like, we're more than three right here. Like, we could pray right here. Like, why do we gotta go over there? And she'll be like, "Come on, please look at the kids. They like it. They enjoy it." And I'm like, "Man, I can't go."
hey, let me ask you something. How did you know them scriptures?
When I went to camp, bro. Well, no, when I went to Los Padrinos,
Mhm,
in my head, I made a little deal with God, right? I remember I made a deal with God. I was like, God, if you get me out of this mess,
mhm,
I'm gonna read your word, and I'm gonna, I'm gonna follow you.
mhm,
And so I started reading it, bro. I read the Bible, and I would like just go into it deep, bro. Like, cause I got sent to the hole, so I'll be in the hole, and I would just read it, read it, read it, read it. So some stuff stood there, bro.
okay,
But once I got sentenced, I said, forget this, and
mhm,
I threw it to the side, bro. I'm like,
yeah,
he didn't agree to my deal, so I'm like, I'm not gonna agree to his. So
mhm.
I knew the scriptures, and I would just use them against my wife, bro.
Prior to you opening that Bible in Los Padrinos, did you have, like, a form of religion, like Catholic or anything?
Catholic. So
Okay,
we'll go like to church special occasions. My mom she's still Catholic, but she believes in Jesus. Like she always tells me, like, you should just give it to God, give it to God. And the crazy part is like coming here, I remember we used to come up some stairs, bro, and there used to be a church like on the second floor. And I used to bring my cousin in the wheelchair. And it was we liked it, bro. It was a little Christian church and we liked it, and they'll be singing, and I guess it was like a pastor that used to be from Azusa, and his wife used to be from Bolin, and they used to minister the word and everything, bro, and they used to love on us, right? But
mhm,
like after the first month, they're like, "Wow, you guys can't be dressing like that no more. Like you need
mhm.
to start changing the way you dress and this and that." And I'm like, "All right, bye." Like, you ain't gonna tell me how to dress. So look, I mean, I always felt something. We enjoyed it, but it was nothing real, bro. It was
Okay,
nothing real. Of like, I would go to church on Sundays with my wife. There was another church in Riverside that my brother-in-law was going because he ends up having a son in a wheelchair. So he started going to church a lot. And I remember going, bro, and these pastors just came and started praying for me, right? And they're telling my wife, like, man, your husband's anointed and he's gonna bring the word of God to the east, to the west, to the north, to the south, and all this. And I'm right there with my hands up crying, bro, just like feeling God's presence, right? And I'm just crying, like, ah. And then I remember going home and we barbecuing and getting drunk, bro.
mhm.
So I was like, man, those are just feelings, bro. That was just feelings. But so I would, out of respect and stuff like that, I would, bro. I
So,
used
hey, so on that occasion, when you're driving, the car breaks down, Father's Day, it's all bad. So where pick up from there. What ends up happening?
bro, the car, and we're like right across the street from the church, bro. Right? I could have left the car there and walked over there, bro. But me being a jerk, bro, I get under the car just to get dirty on purpose.
Yeah.
And I sent her to church. And I ended up just fixing the car. It was like something simple, bro. It wasn't even all that. But just me being a jerk, bro. Me being a jerk. And then so they had that little thing, right? And my wife's like, I'm seeing, bro, she's getting like broken, she's getting hurt. And here comes October. By that time, bro, my son that had the little ball on his neck, we had that appointment. We finally got an appointment to get that removed. So by this time, I'm getting a little worried, bro. I'm like, okay, like, what do we do? And at that time, we had bought a little barber shop in La Puente, down Main Street. There's a little barber shop, and we bought it. We had the homies help me came and paint it and everything. And so we're out of there, and things are, we're like, all right. I tell the homie, like, bro, I gotta try this God thing with my wife because my son's going through this and I don't know what to do.
Mhm.
right? So I'm like, all right. So by that time it's October, bro. So that's why even coming here, sharing it, it means a lot to me because we're in the month of October. I remember clearly it was they had a harvest event at
Mhm.
that church. And I changed según yo, I had some slacks, bro, and a nice shirt. And then my wife got dressed up and we take the kids and they have a harvest event. They give them candy, stuff like that. They're taking our pictures. And it's just like a family time, right? And then all the brothers from church start coming. And I'm like, oh, here they're gonna come trying to preach at me and all this stuff, bro. And for real, it wasn't even like that. They were like, "Oh man, hey, your kids are awesome. We took them to this Royal Ranger camp and they loved it. And your kids are awesome." This and all. Like, all right, bro. Like, man, these they're all right, bro. They're just loving on my kids. I'm like, that's cool.
Mhm.
And I just felt something. I felt good, bro. Like, all right, God, like, let's do this. And then, so yeah, we have a good time, bro. I talked to her pastor for a little bit. And I'm like, yeah, I'll come on Sunday, Pastor, this and that. She's like, oh, great. We've been praying that you come. And then I'm like, yeah, I'll be here. I'll be here. Bro. So we're going home feeling good. And then I get home, bro, and there's a car parked in my driveway. And my wife is pregnant at this time. So, and I have 3 kids and my wife is pregnant. And so I get out the car and I tell the car to move, like, hey, I'm like, hey, bro, can you like move here in my driveway? So they pull up forward and there was like 3 guys in there. And they pull up forward, bro. So I parked right behind them in my driveway and I'm walking my wife and my kids inside the house. And as we're walking in, like we go through the gate, I hear so they backed into my car, bro, and like hit the bumper. So I come out, bro, and I'm not gonna lie, bro. I didn't come out too Christian like. I came out throwing the F word and everything, bro. Like,
Mhm.
what's up? And they jumped out of the car. They're like, what you wanna do? I'm like, what's up? What you wanna do? And then my kids are getting scared, and my wife's like there. She's like, Freddie, come inside. And I'm like, no, what the heck? And then so there was more guys across the street.
Mhm.
So they came out. So now it's like 10 of them, bro. And this is me. And now like, well, let's go to the corner. I go, but just 3 of you, bro. Like, no, come right here, all of us right now, this and that. I'm like, bro, let's just go. I'll take on 3, but let's go to the corner. My neighbor comes out, bro. So she's all like, I'm gonna call the cops, and they start telling her off, like get the F inside and all that. And all like, bro, you're not gonna come to my neighborhood talking to people like this, right?
Mhm.
So bam, the cops end up coming, bro, right? And like these guys are coming out of the house. So now I have like 13 guys around me.
Dang. Were they there visiting? Was there a party or
There
something
was a
going on?
party across the street,
So
right?
these were guys that were from out of town.
From yeah, not from my little
Uh-huh.
areas. So they're like right there just pumping their chest, right? And then my mom's right there, and everybody's yelling and everything. I'm like, I'm trying to get them to go. Let's go to the corner, bro. Like my wife's pregnant, bro. She don't want to be seeing all this.
Mhm.
The cops roll up, so I see cops. I'm like, I'm gone, bro. Like I ain't got nothing to do with you guys. And I'm walking inside. I'm barely gonna walk into the gate when they're like, "Excuse me, sir, come here." They're like, I'm like, yeah. They're like, oh, come here real quick. And they take me like to the cop car. They're like, what's your name? I give them my name and everything. They're like, okay, do you have any guns or any weapons on you? I'm like, no, sir. I'm like, we just came from church right now. They're like, all right, okay, yeah. Hold on for a second. And then they put the handcuffs on me, bro. And they're like, Freddy Esquivel? And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, these guys said that you pulled out a gun on them.
Oh
And
shoot.
I'm like, what? I'm like, bro, I just came from church. I'm like, I haven't even walked into my house.
Yeah.
I go, you already searched me. I haven't even walked into my house. They're like, well, you pulled out a gun on them. And you know, your record shows that you've been busted for guns several times.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have to check your house. And I'm like, what the heck? So they put me behind the cop car, bro. They raided the house for 2 hours, bro.
Without a warrant.
They just raid the house because I have a gun supposedly, and all this happened when my whole thing that's blowing my mind. I'm like, dude, I just came from church. Why would I need a gun I haven't even been inside the house.
Yeah.
They searched the car, they searched the house, everything, bro. My kids are freaking out. My wife and my mom, they have them on the side while they're searching the whole house, and they tear it up, bro. They tear it up the house. I had a navigator. They had a TV. They broke down the TV, the doors, everything. They took everything apart. Didn't find nothing, bro, at all. 2 hours later, they're like, okay, we're gonna let you go. We didn't find nothing. So yeah, and I'm like, So what the heck about my car, bro? They hit my car. They're like, oh, well, that's something that you're gonna have to do with your insurance and this and that. And I'm like, whatever, bro. Like, you guys are ridiculous, right? Bro, so that was it. So now we put the house back together. I'm still like, man, what the heck? And then these fools saying that I had a gun, like, that's crazy. A week later, we have the appointment to go for my son's doctor's appointment, right? So that night, I can't even sleep, bro. I'm nervous. I'm like, we're gonna go to the hospital. I'm real nervous. Like, I'm trying to pray to God any way I know how. Like, I'm talking to God, and I hear like banging on the doors, bro. I hear banging. So I honestly thought it was my enemies that came to the house. 'Cause I just hear bang. So I go out there trying to swing, and it's like all these cops, bro. They come and they're all pointing guns and everything. They're raiding the house again, but they come like with SWAT, bro. And I'm like, what the heck? So they look different, That's why it threw me off. I'm like, who the heck is this? And they take me outside, bro, and they're like, hey, where's the gun at? Where's the gun? I'm like, what? What are you talking about? They're like, yeah, you had a gun, you threatened some kids, and you know, this and that. Now they fear for their lives. And they're like, where's the gun? We're gonna take away your kids from you unless you give me the gun.
This is the day before the appointment.
The day of the
Oh, the
appointment,
day of the
bro.
appointment.
The day is 3 in the morning, bro. I'm behind a cop car. They're searching the whole house. They have all the kids outside. We have to be over there at 7 in the morning for this thing. And I'm telling them. And then the head detective comes to me, right? And she's the one like threatening me. They brought dogs supposedly from the airport to sniff the whole house out, everything. And I'm like, bro, they didn't find guns the day of. What makes you think a week later you're gonna find a gun? Like, what's wrong with you? She's like, if you don't tell me where the gun's at, I'm taking away your kids. This now, like, you know what? I like my son has an appointment. I don't have time for this stuff. Like, we gotta get to the doctor. They need to go. Well, tell me where the gun's at, and we'll let them go. We'll let them go. And I'm like, bro, there's no gun. They searched the whole house, bro, at 6 in the morning. They're like, all right, take them to the station. They take me to the station and they finally let her go to the hospital with my son. So now I'm at industry station, bro. And they put me like in the cell, and I'm like, I'm pissed, bro. I'm so mad, bro. Like I had a anger that I never felt before, bro. Right. And then some hours passed, bro. And then the bailiff comes in and then she's like, hey, your mother-in-law called and she said that they found 2 tumors in your son's neck, but he's okay. And I was like, what? And I'm like, could I please just get a phone call? She's like, yeah, we'll let you get a phone call right now. And I called my wife. I'm like, you need to bail me out right now. You just really need to bail me out. So they worked on that, so I got bailed out by that night. And I told her, hey, I need to talk to your pastor. I go set up a meeting with them. So I go over there, and this is already like 10 o'clock at night, bro. And so I'm meeting up with this pastor, and the first thing I ask him too is like, hey, whatever we talk about right here, you can't tell nobody, right? He's like, no, why? What's going on? He's still freaking out. Like, what the heck? He just heard I got bailed out, and I want to talk to him in the middle of the night. And like, you know what? These people took me away from my son when he needed me. Like when I have a hate that I never felt before. I'm like, I'm literally gonna go into these people's house. I'm gonna drag him out in front of his mom. I don't care. I'm gonna drag him out.
Mhm.
Like they took me away from my son just because they were drunk or whatever. They didn't want to get in trouble. And
Yeah.
I had this hatred, bro. Like it was like boiling in my stomach. And I told him, like, if you don't tell me something that's gonna change my mind, I'm gonna go do this. Like I will throw them in the trunk, like they're done. And then, bro, he tells me a simple little story, bro. He's all like, hey, look. So there was this guy that put a house for sale, right? He's all like, and then this couple came and they looked at the house and then it was for real cheap. So they're like, oh yeah, we want to buy it. He's like, okay, I'm gonna sell this house for real cheap. He's all, but inside the house, under the stairs, there's a closet. And in the closet, there's a nail. He's all like, I'm selling you the whole house except that nail. And they're like, oh, okay. So they buy the house. And then he's all like, a month later, this man just walks in the house out of nowhere and puts a stinky sock on the nail. And the people are like, what the heck? Why is he just walking into my house? And they tell him, like, hey, what's going on, bro? He's all like, remember I told you this nail is mine. I could do whatever I want. So every month it got stinker and stinker until like they got rid of the house, right? And then he told me, that nail, that's sin. That when you allow sin in your life, you're allowing the devil to come in. and ruin your life. And I was like, bro, somehow that made sense to me. Like it made so, bro, I'm a visual person. So it clicked in my head. Like, so by me doing bad stuff, I'm allowing the devil to come and mess in my life, right? So you tell me like if I stop messing around and just really trust God, something's gonna happen. He's like, yeah. I'm like, all right, bro. I'm gonna hold you to that. Let's go. Let's do this, bro. And I'm not kidding you, bro. Like that following Wednesday, I went to Wednesday service. I signed up to the men's meeting, and I'm asking questions, bro, because now I want to know. I want to know, right?
Mhm.
They're talking about David and this and that, and I'm like, so you're telling me David killed all these people, but God still loved them? Like, what the heck? Is that possible? And I'm asking questions, bro, and I'm like really just digging deep into this. Like, man, like I just felt something, right?
Mhm.
And I remember a week later, there was a youth convention, and my mother-in-law said, like, "Oh, let's take the kids." So we go to the youth convention, and then it's for youth, right?
Mhm.
So we show up, and all our church is there, and all our youth is there. And I remember we're sitting down, and one of the youth comes up to me, bro, and she's like, "Could I pray for you?" No, like I'm thinking in my head, like, man, girl, if you only knew all the stuff I did, but I'm like, go ahead, yeah, go ahead, pray. Bro, she starts praying for me, and I could literally see, bro, like every time, like my whole life started flashing before my eyes, and I could see every time, bro, that I should have been dead, but God's hand was in the way.
Mhm.
Like I remember, like I was in my car, bro, leaving my neighborhood, and my car got lit up, bro.
Mm.
And there was no way that they ended up 2 clips on me, bro, like from here to like 5 feet away,
Dang.
and they missed every shot. And like God showed me, like He was in the midst of all those things, and now like it freaked me out, bro. Like, what the heck? Like, who is this girl, you know? But God used her to show me that. And then they did like an altar call, bro. And so I take my son, right? Because my son, we're still dealing. We got to see like what kind of treatment he's gonna get. So that's
Mhm.
where we went. And I take my son, bro, to the front, and they're praying, bro, from the altar. They're praying. And then I remember my son just moving to the side, bro. He moved to the side, and I felt like a wind just come over me, right? Like trying to knock me down. And I'm like, man, I ain't gonna fall. Like, cause I seen other people falling, right? And I'm like, I'm not gonna fall. Like, what the heck? And again, I found like a strong wind, bro. And I'm like, no, I'm not gonna fall. Bro, the third time, it was just like something swept me up and I fell, but I felt it like slow motion, right? And then I get up and real quick, I check my wallet, bro. I check my wallet, like someone's gonna steal my wallet at a youth convention, bro. All right. And I check my wallet real quick. And not like, and I'm telling everybody, "Oh, I'm alright, I'm alright." Ain't nobody paying attention to me, bro. Everybody's doing their own thing, but in my head, it's like they're all looking at me or something. And I'm like, "No, I'm good, I'm good." And I was like, "What the heck was that, bro?" Like, I just felt the Holy Spirit in a way, like it was crazy, bro.
Amen.
It blew my mind. Like, then my son turned around and he's all like, "Dad, it looked like you went into the air and you just fell softly." And I'm like, dude, that's what I felt, like how what the heck happened?
Mhm.
So on the way home, bro, I'm like super excited now. Now I'm like,
Man.
dude, this is real. Like, this is like a whole different level of real, bro. Like, man, I get back. I go out there. They ask like, "Hey, does anybody want to share what happened at camp or whatever?" They're talking about the youth. I run up there, bro, and I'm like, dude, I know most of you people think I'm a pagan and this and that, but you know what? God is real. And I told them what happened and how God just touched me and this and that. And they're like, oh, that's awesome.
Sorry about that.
You're good, you're good.
Sorry. Go
And they're
ahead.
like, oh man, that's awesome, right? And every time they allow me to share, bro, I'm sharing about how good God is, this
Mhm.
and that. And then now we have the appointment to go, to
Mhm.
see what kind of treatment my son needs. And I remember we went to a doctor's appointment, bro, and my wife stood in the car. She couldn't even get off the car, bro, because she's like broken,
Yeah.
because we're like, hey, is he gonna need chemo or anything, And we go in there, bro, and they sit us down and they're like, oh, the doctor will be with you guys right now. And I start praying, bro. I grab my son and I start praying for him. I start praying for him. And I hear the doctor walk in and I'm still praying, bro. And then after I'm done praying, like I look up and I see him smile, bro, like from cheek to cheek. It was a big old tall guy. For me, it looked like an angel, bro. And
Mhm.
he was just smiling. And then he's like, hey, bro, I just want to tell you that it wasn't a it wasn't a tumor. They were abscess. So he's
Oh,
good.
amen.
And I was like, what?
God's just showing
like,
you, God's just
bro.
showing you
But
miracle after
within like
miracle.
week before week, like,
Amen.
I was like, dude, now I'm in cloud nine, bro. Now I'm like, dude, this is crazy how amazing God is, right? Like, I'm seeing like, man, him move, bro, him move, right? And then the next week, there's the some people that came to our church to share, right? And they start praying over me. And I remember like the prayer that they prayed, they're praying for me is like the same prayer that the other church had told me, bro. They're like, they're telling my wife, like, your man, your husband's anointed. He's
That
gonna
lady,
preach.
that how that lady was
Yeah.
prophesying over you.
And they're like, he's gonna be preaching in the east, the west, the north, and all this. And I'm like, I heard that before. Like, what the heck? But it was like a
Yeah.
confirmation. It was a confirmation. And I'm like, man, God is good, right? So now we got to go to court because I'm out on bail, bro, right?
Mhm.
So we got to go to court. But in all this, that little church, there was a guy that one of the men right there, he was a cop that worked in the county, right? And at first I didn't like him because he was like, he was bald, bro. He had tattoos and stuff like that. To me, it's like, bro, you're trying to be a homie, but you're a cop. Like, when I first met him, like, I did not like him, bro. And then he ended up being like one of my best friends, bro. Like, we started like talking and
Mhm.
he's like sharing with me the word of God. And I'm like, bro, like, this would not happen no other. Like, now he's like my brother,
Amen.
like my brother. And it's like, but he's a cop, not only a cop, one of those cops from county, bro. Like,
Yeah.
but we're like good, bro. We're like good. And it's like, that's just God, right?
Yeah.
So now we're going to court. And I have my whole crew. I have the pastor, I have the man from the church, I have this cop going with me. We go to West Covina Court and we're like, we walk in and my name's not even on the list. And I'm like,
Mhm.
man, this is what's going on. So I go check in the little window and I ask the lady, like, hey, my name's not on the list. And she's all like, well, if it's not back on the list, come during lunch. And if it's not there, then you the reject. It got dropped. And now like, oh, that's just God. And I'm telling the lady, that's God. That's a testimony right there. And she's looking at me like, okay. Now like that's a testimony. Watch. Like, and we're walking, and then the pastor's like, let's go grab something to eat. And I'm telling the pastor, like, no, pastor, this is a testimony. I feel like I'm walking on water like Peter right now. This is I'm gonna share the whole world, Pastor. We're gonna go everywhere and I'm gonna share like how God just did all these miracles and he's just moving, right? And then so we go back after lunch and it's like, my name's on the list, bro. And it's like, what the heck? My heart dropped, bro.
Yeah.
And then it's like I'm sitting down and I start seeing industry sheriffs show up and they're
Mhm.
guarding the entrance and the exit. And I'm like, what the heck? And I remember getting my phone and calling one of the brothers. And I'm like, hey, brother, pray for me right now. He's like, why? I'm like, I just feel something like pray for me right now. And then the lady came out. She's like, Freddy Esquivel? And I'm like, yeah. She's like, oh, I'm your lawyer. I'm your attorney right now. And your bail just got revoked. You got
Mm.
$1 million bail. And I'm like, what the heck? $1 million for what? She's like, well, you're going to go into custody right now. She's like, don't try to run because all those cops right there, they're for you. All those industry sheriffs, they're here for you, making sure that you don't take off.
Mhm.
And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, I gotta go to work. My kids are at school. Like, I don't have time for your games. So, like, while you're going into custody. So now they threw the gang enhancement. Now the people feared for their lives. Now they're trying to throw they somehow they're trying to throw a gang charge and 10 years for bullets and 10 years for being a gang member. And then for the gang, so it was like best deal. I was looking at 32 years with 2 strikes
Mhm.
when they never found a gun, bro.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how is this even happening? Like, now my points went sky high because now I have $1 million bail. So now I'm going into custody with all the lifers. And I'm like, my wife is just losing it. I'm like, don't worry about it. We gotta trust in God. And then I remember asking the judge, like, hey, can I take my Bible with me? Because at that time I'm carrying my Bible everywhere, bro. Can I take my Bible? They're like, oh no, you'll get one in there. So I'm like, all right, whatever. So now I'm going in through the process, and in my head, I'm still trying to process everything. Like, bro, how could this even happen, bro? I'm getting set up for a gun that's never even there. Like, every time I ever got arrested, there was an actual physical gun, bro. Now you're taking word of some punk kids that were drunk and crashed into my car. Like, how does that work,
It's
right?
crazy.
And then so they take me into custody, bro. It was real. And then when I go in there, I'm like, all right, though, I gotta stay focused. I gotta stay focused. So as soon as I got into 2700, the 3200 floor was flooded, bro. So they didn't let us be in the 3200. So now I'm in single man cells in the 2700 floor with all the lifers coming down for new cases, right? So it's like everybody there is either getting life or already has life and is looking at more charges. So I get in and they're like, like, what do you run? Let them know my name, check in, everything. And but I tell them like, you know what? I'm believing in the Bible, bro. I'm believing God's gonna save me. They're like, what are you saying? I'm like, no, bro. Like I know who I am and I know where I'm at. I go run my name, whatever. I know where I'm at, I go, but I'm believing in the word.
Mhm.
And they're like, all right, whatever. So I'm in the last cell, bro. Like there's 26 cells. I'm in cell 25, bro.
Mhm.
All the way by myself. And then I'm there like a couple days, bro, and I'm like, what the like it's not real yet, right? And everybody that you talk to, they're like, bro, they can't do that to you. They can't like, dude, it's happening. Like it's happening. Like
Yeah.
this is real. And then like couple days passed, bro, and then a pastor came out of nowhere and he passed up everybody, bro, all the way to my cell. And he looks at me, he's like, do you need a Bible? And I'm like, yeah. And then he's like, I got a Bible for you. And it was a study Bible, bro, at that. So like now I have the word of God and I start studying the word. But for me, I was like, how do you pass up all these inmates and bring a Bible to me? Like, how did nobody else get it,
Yeah.
So I knew God wanted me to read something. God wanted to give me some encouragement, bro. So I said, all right. So I just started writing down verses, bro. Started writing down verses that meant something like, right. And now I'm trying to figure out, okay, how do I read the Bible? How do I really get into it? How do
Yeah.
so I start writing down to me, his word was promises, bro. So even in Genesis, bro, like what he has brought together can no man separate. And I
Mhm.
wrote it down and I'll tell God, like, God, your word says, that no man can separate me and my wife. Like this judge is trying to separate us, like, don't let it happen. Like,
Yeah.
all these verses, bro. And then so the gang unit starts messing with me there. They start hog tying me, taking me out of my cell, searching myself for more. They want to say that I'm affiliated. And I'm telling them, like, bro, I don't, bro, I got kids. I'm already old. I don't have time for all that. And they're like, no, you're a known gang member, this and that. And I'm like, bro, no, I'm not.
Mhm.
No, I'm not. So at that point, bro, like, I'm still trying to figure stuff out, right? So you still do your rutina, you do your stuff, you call it out, bro. But I'm just saying my name now. I'm not even using the moniker or nothing, bro. I'm like,
Mhm.
nah, bro. I'm just me now,
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, and I let everybody know, like, hey, I know where I'm at, bro. I know what I gotta do, but and I know how to run program. I run program, bro, but it's just me. And then I ended up meeting another little homie, bro, that showed up that I guess he got shot up by the cops. He wasn't supposed to walk, but yet here 3 years later, he's walking and he's
Mhm.
telling me it was God, bro. It was God that allowed me to walk. And he was in the bottom of me, bro. So now me and him are like, fishing, sharing
Mhm.
soups and stuff like that. And we're studying the word together, but we don't know, bro. Like nobody's really teaching us. And then there was this guy that ended up being next door to me. And he knows the word, bro. And he's telling me, like, hey, Freddie, hey, check out so and so and check out all this. And I'm like, how does this guy know it by heart? Like, bro, that like, I was like, I want to do that. Like, how do I do that, God?
Yeah.
Bro, but in the night, I hear this guy and he's talking his war stories, bro. And it was like all filled, bro. Like he's just talking all kinds of mess and everything. And I was like, what the heck? And then the next day, like it bothered me, bro. So the next day I open my Bible and I'm reading and it says something about like out of a whale, fresh like out of a dirty whale, fresh water can't come out, and out of like, a clean whale, dirty water can't come out. And I said, like, God just cleanse me, clean me. Like, I don't want to cuss no more. I don't want to have bad thoughts no more. Like,
Mhm.
cleanse me. Like, I want to be like used by you. I want to be a clean vessel.
Man.
I want to be a clean vessel. And like, bro, I'm not even kidding you. I was brought up in a Mexican household where like you cuss at everything and everybody and it's not offensive. And I just stopped cussing that day. Ever since that day, I have not cussed, bro. Like, it doesn't come out. It's not like, oh, by mistake or nothing. It's just not part of my language no more.
Mhm.
Like he took it away right there and then. And I was like, man, that's awesome, bro. And then I remember like nurses would come and everything, and all these people would be catcalling and all that. And I didn't see them like that, bro. I saw them different. I was like, that's God's daughter right there, you know,
Mhm.
like they're taking their time to come and do this, and for these guys to be disrespect. Like I was seeing stuff
Yeah.
different, bro.
You were getting stronger and stronger in the word.
And it was crazy, bro. Cause like now I saw other people that needed hope, and I'm trying to share the word with them. We're going to court, bro, and I started learning how to use the verses now, right? My verse that I have in my heart is um Isaiah 54 verse 17, right? Any
No weapon formed.
no weapon formed against me shall prosper, and every tongue that rises against me in judgment you shall condemn.
Mhm.
And bro, like the bailiff knew already before I went into the courtroom, I would like pray and I would say that. Like he know, like he'll give me my little 2 minutes right there. And because every time I was going to court, bro, it got worse and worse. Like these guys were showing up to court, and this is the crazy part, bro. This is the thing that still blows my mind to this, that I can't even get over, which I still need forgiveness because it's like, bro, they're showing up to court bald, gangstered out, talking about like, oh, he pulled out a gun on me. I'm like, first of all, there was no gun. Second of all, where I did messed up was when I told him like, "You're not gonna come into my neighborhood," because that was the gang enhancement right there. Because now I'm using the neighborhood, but it was because they were disrespecting my neighbor, bro. You know, I'm like, "You're not gonna come in here," but they took it to a whole different level, and they're still showing up to court pointing fingers, bro. Like,
Mm.
where's if you're a gangster, bro, right? And
Yeah.
it's our enemies, and you're right there showing up to court like that, like, bro. To every court at that, too, they didn't miss one, bro.
Mhm.
And then they're showing up with the gang unit and everything. I think they were getting rights from them, buddies. Like
Dang.
that's the way it works now,
Dang.
bro. If you see right here, the little bald spot, that's from there. Cause I was trying to grow my hair, and when I seen that, bro, I was like, oh. And I remember you just took a chunk out of my hair, bro. Cause
Dang.
I was just like, bro, how watered down is this? That these like that's crazy. And but I remember those verses, bro, and just praying them and praying them.
Mhm.
And then I remember my lawyer started catching them all lying, bro. Like the gang unit, the gang detectives. So like that allowed me to start trusting the word of God. Okay, like you're doing something. But yet every time I'm going to court, understand it got worse and worse and worse. First, it was like we're looking at 3 years, then 10 years, and then the enhancements and everything. Then
Yeah.
at the end, I'm telling you, the best deal was 32 years with 2 strikes. And it's like, bro, where we were at, we never came out to use the phone, and we were locked down 24/7 for like 3, 4 days before I even saw a phone. And so it starts messing with you, bro. And it's like, God, what's going on? Right. Like, but now I'm learning that, okay, God, what are you trying to teach me? What are you trying to teach me? Right. And then when I would come out, I would just come out for visits, bro. That's one thing I'll tell you that. My wife visited me faithfully, bro, every Thursday and every Sunday.
Mhm.
And that still gets me to this day because I would not even give up one day to go to church for her because I had to work and provide. If she's giving up 2 days for me to go visit me,
Yeah.
giving up work, and she's still providing for the family.
Wow.
And bro, that it still gets me to this day, bro. Like how God was showing me,
So
like
were you guys preparing for trial? Well,
yeah. So now,
you're like, I'm fighting this for sure, right?
bro, there's no way I'm gonna.
Take a
For
deal.
me, every time I ever got caught, bro, I got caught. That's it.
Mhm.
Let's go. I'm not running. I'm not doing nothing. Like I got caught. Let's go,
Yeah.
bro. There was never no gun, bro. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I wanted to run a fade with them. That was it, bro. But
Yeah.
did I even touch any of them? No.
No.
Nobody got hit. Nobody. There was no violence.
Man.
And here it got bound over. So obviously they thought they had enough.
Mhm.
Now we're in Pomona Court where nobody walks out of Pomona Court, bro. Like,
Yeah. Hang them all.
hang them on, bro. You're hearing stories. Homies are coming up to my sound. They're like, bro, just take the deal. They're like, if you're lucky, bro, you'll get halftime and you'll do like 15 years, 18 years, and you'll be home. They're like, I'm never going home, Freddie. I'm never going home. Like, take the deal. And I'm like, bro, I didn't do it though. I didn't do it. Like, I know where you're coming from, bro, but I didn't do it. Like, there's nothing there.
Yeah.
Like, what? How's this even, bro? But this time we had to sell the barbershop. The lawyer's saying, hey, we're gonna go to trial. You need $30,000 more, which we didn't have,
Mhm.
right? And but at all this time though, bro, like stuff is happening where God is showing me where He's moving. I remember my wife coming to visit me, and my little one, my 10-year-old, he was getting out of control because I'm telling him like, you gotta be the man, right? And he's looking at me through the window, bro. And even thinking about it breaks my heart because I'll look at him like, what's up, man? How you doing? And his eyes will water up, and he'll be like, when are you coming home? And I couldn't answer him, bro.
Yeah.
I couldn't answer him, bro. So that's breaking me, it's breaking him.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, what's going on? Right. And then my wife comes 2 weeks later. She's telling me that the doctor's telling her she needs to abort because the baby she was pregnant, right? So they're saying that because of obviously all the stress and stuff like that, that the baby's insides are growing outside, that she
Mhm.
needs to abort. And that took a toll on me, bro. So I remember after the visit, I'm going back to my cell, and there was a one of the homies right there, Risky, bro. And he's like, "Oh, how was your visit?" Because I used to always come back happy, bro. Because I'm knowing the Lord, so I'm happy, bro. And these guys can't figure out like, why is this guy
Yeah.
always happy?
Yeah.
And he's all like, "How was your visit, bro?" And all like, "No, I wasn't good, bro." He's like, "Really, Freddie?" And all like, "Bro, it wasn't good." He's like, "Really?" And I'm like, "Bro, I'm already getting mad already, bro. Like, bro, I'm telling you, I didn't have a good visit." And he's like, "Really, bro? You're the one that's always telling me to have faith." And now,
Mhm.
bro, I went to my son. I prayed like I never prayed before, bro. And yeah, I just started seeing God move. Like that night, I prayed, and I just felt like at another realm, bro. Like I felt God just lifting me and just pouring into me, bro. I mean, just being at one with God in a different level, bro.
Mm.
And at that point, I remember my wife. They went to go see a lady. They went to go see a lady, bro. Right,
Mhm.
and she's supposed to be some kind of prophet. And then, so this lady is praying over my wife, and she's all like telling my wife, "Hey, God is building a house for you. God is building a house for you where you're gonna feel safe."
Yeah.
And my wife's all like, "Bro, we just had to sell our business, trying to get $30,000. I ain't thinking about getting a house right now. Like, what are
Yeah.
you like?" She took off mad from there. Like, she told my mother-in-law, like, "Why we go waste our time and this and that?" Right? And then so she tells me that, bro, and I'm like, "What the heck?" And then so there, that was that one, bro, right? And then that comes back up later, but so they tell us that they're building a house for her so she could feel safe because my house been raided so many times she doesn't even feel safe. Then she has a dream where she's at a store, and the lady tells her like, "Hey, don't worry," like, and there was a ladder, and they're like, "You see that ladder? Once Freddy gets on the top, he's gonna come home." He's up, but he's not on the top yet. He's almost there, but he once he gets there, he's gonna come home. And so she'll tell me that, bro, and I'm like, "All right, God, so what are you trying to teach me? What are you trying to
Yeah.
teach me?" You know? So I'm digging more into the word and stuff like that, bro. And I remember we're about to go pick jury, bro. We're gonna pick jury, so it's a big day at court, and we go to court. But right before I go to court that night, I remember I said, like, God, I got on my knees, bro, and I said, like, you know what, God, wherever you want me to go, you want to send me to prison? Let's go. I'll
Yeah.
preach the word in prison. Let's go. I go, but my kids, they're your kids. My
Yeah.
wife, that's your daughter. Those are your kids. You take care of them. And I released them, bro. And I felt like just a peace, bro. Like I released them to him. And it was like, all right, God, I'm just going to trust you. Whatever you want to do, let's go. I remember going to court, bro, and they pulled me into the little side room and they're like, I'm like, bro, I'm not trying to take no deals, bro. Like, why you taking
Mm.
me to the side room? And the lawyer comes into me. He's like, right before we pick jury, he's like, hey, they're saying that if you sign a joint suspension, they'll let you go home. And I'm like, what? So I'm like, how is that possible? They're like, well, right now the joint suspension is for 13 years. If you sign it, you go home. But if you do anything, you come in for 13 years straight.
Mhm.
And they're like, anything. They're like, even if you get in a fight right now or whatever, you go 13 years straight. That's it. And now, like, so you tell me I could go home right now? Like, this is after months and months
Yeah.
already
Yeah.
fighting, bro. Like, money down the drain.
Yeah.
But I know it was like God moving, bro. Like, I'm like, you know what? Is there a way I could go back into the county though, like where I was at? And they're like, what do you mean? And they're like, dude, they need to know that God is real, bro. And then he's all like, well, yeah, they're not gonna let you out right now. It's gonna take like 2, 3 days. And now
Yeah.
like super excited to go back to the county, bro.
That's
because
great.
I had to go tell all the homies like, bro, God is real, bro, and
Yeah.
dude, he's sending me home.
Give them some hope.
He's all like, he's sending me home, bro. He's sending me home,
That's
and
awesome.
so we got to go home, bro, and trip out on this. I get home. When I come out, my wife had found this place where they do like remanufacture homes.
Hmm.
So we got our house built and moved to another city. So God built a house for her, bro.
Amen.
God built a house for her where she felt safe to the point I was able to pick out my floors, the counter, everything. It was a
Dang.
4 bedroom, bro. Open concept, 2 restrooms.
Dang.
And it was like it went back to what God told her. It was a house where she felt safe, bro.
Man.
And that was just God, you know. And then came out just on fire, bro. Like I remember nobody knew I was coming home. So I go to church right away. And it was a Wednesday, and everybody's all like, "What the? He's out!" And it's just like,
That's crazy.
bro, I just go out there and just testify. You know, there's God
Yeah.
goodness. It was all God, and I tell the pastor, like, Pastor, I want to start working with the children and the youth, bro. Like, all this happened, bro, because my record started since I was a youth, bro. If I didn't have nothing on my record, I would have been straight.
Yeah.
But because all those things, and it was like, it was a gun in the back seat, bro. When would you ever think like, dude, that's not mine? It's how am I gonna get busted for that? But you do.
Yeah, you do.
You do, bro. Like all these
Yeah.
cases, it was like they shouldn't have happened. You could say that 100 times, but guess what? It happened. I was there, bro. I
Yeah.
was looking at all day. Like,
That's
you get what
crazy.
I'm saying?
That's
So
dope. Hey, Freddie, I know we're about to get into the episodes of where you're at today in ministry and what God's doing through your life. We're going to open up for phone calls and
yeah.
we'll just continue. All right. So, Rob, go ahead and open it up. And just real quick, let me put it out there. Man, that's some good stuff, Freddie, man. I'm telling you, people that know my story, hearing your story, there's so much similarities. You know what I mean? I mean, unfortunately, I ended up going and doing life,
Yeah.
but the stories though, man, of your like encounter with God and everything, that stuff is crazy. But we're gonna go ahead and open up these phone lines. If you would like to call in and just give a word of encouragement or just just conversate with us within this, go ahead and call right now. The phone number is on the screen. It's 626-367-9275. So go ahead and call in. Let me take this off to not disturb. Yeah, go ahead and call in. We're going to continue, but if you would like to call in, go ahead and call in. We'd love to hear from you guys. Let me make sure I turn this on. All right, Freddie. So here we are after this big miracle. You get out on this joint suspension, right? You get out and joint suspension for you that didn't catch it. It's like they have this tail on you. So they give you like 5 years of probation or
Yeah.
something. I know it's usually like a long
Yeah.
probation stretch, right? And if you get busted at all during that probation for whatever, he gets that time that he was facing that he agreed to on that joint suspension. So that means, he could get caught doing almost nothing and he would be facing them same charges all over again,
Yeah.
right? I mean, that's
Pretty
what you
much,
agreed
yeah.
to, right?
That's the agreement.
Yeah, that's crazy. So okay, you step out, family's happy, you get this home.
And then one of the main reasons we had to get the home was because even when they offered the joint suspension, like
Mhm,
I took the deal and everything, they had to call the sheriffs, the detective, the head detective, and she
mhm,
was mad, bro. So like, no, you can't let him go home. You
mhm,
can't like she did not want me to come home whatsoever. So that was the whole point of us moving, right? Like my lawyer said, like, bro, you gotta move out of there. They just don't like you.
yeah,
You're not gonna last, right? You're not gonna make it. And now, like, so we moved and we ended up moving closer to the church that my wife was attending.
mhm,
And I talked to the pastor right away and I'm like, hey, I want to do ministry. I want to work in do ministry. And he told me something very, very important, bro. He's like, you know what? You got to do your family first. Your family is your first ministry. He
amen.
said, do a year there. Do a year, just focus on your family.
Good advice.
And, at that time I was young, bro. I was on fire for the Lord. And I'm like, I got to minister right now.
Yeah,
I ended up start doing park ministry, right?
mhm,
With some amazing pastors, Pastor Frank Guerrero and Lupe, they're doing Passion of Christ ministry and just preaching, bro, just preaching and just helping these homeless people and sharing testimony and how God moves and He's real. And we started seeing lives change, bro, right? And in my heart, I was like, bro, I wanted to get my license to go to jail ministry,
Mhm.
right? So I looked it up. I needed a chaplain's license. So I started studying for that, bro, and I get that. But it goes in stages, right? So it
Yeah.
takes like 2 years, stuff like that. So I'm working on that, doing park ministry, working with the churches, serving wherever I can, right? And we start seeing just how God is moving, bro. God is really moving. I'm sharing my testimony. At that time, my pastor was like the youth director, so he was in charge of a lot of churches.
Mhm.
So I was able to go and share my testimony, bro. And then like these young kids would come up and these parents, and they'll be like, "Oh man, we're going through that. Helped us so much." And I just really saw God move, bro. Really start seeing God moving in a way that it was
Yeah.
like powerful, like really start seeing change in people's lives. And so I started studying to get my Assemblies of God pastor, my certification. And so we started seeing God move. But at this point, bro, when I came home, I was like so fired up for God. It was like that was everything, bro. That was
Yeah.
everything. So for me, it was like, there's a men's meeting, let's go. There's the service, let's go. They wanted me to go share over here, let's go, let's go, let's go. And my wife was getting kind of upset, like, hey, where are you at?
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, I'm doing good. You should be happy. Like,
Mhm.
you know? And her testimony was funny because she always says, like, I always prayed for a man of God, and now I can't get him out of church, like he's
Mm.
always everywhere. And but it didn't make sense to me, bro, until the Pastora Lupe, Pastor Frank's wife, told me, like, you know what, Freddie, everything that you do, God is in the middle of everything. He's a picture, a big circle and a little circle in the middle. He's in the middle is God. God has to be in everything that you do. But the circle, once you have the circle, is everything has a triangle, right? Like your family, your ministry, your work.
Mhm.
He's all like, what happens if you take more from one for the other one? You start taking it away from it, right? So I'm all the day doing ministry, so I have no time for my family.
Mhm.
I have no time for this. I have no time for that. He's like, it all has to be equal. It all has to
Mhm.
be equal, or your kids are gonna resent you.
Yeah.
And now, like, wow, that's crazy. Like it made sense though, like,
Yeah.
okay. So that started changing the way I started seeing stuff because to that point, bro, it was like I'm already sharing the word at church and
Yeah.
everything. I'm helping pastor. I'm kind of like the associate by that time, really involved, really going share testimonies. If my pastor used to travel a lot. So he'll lead me to church and I'm like right there, like every Wednesday, every Friday, every Sunday, everything that we had to do, the kids are doing it. I would go through evangelize, I had my kids in everything, like, let's go. But I had no room for nothing else,
Yeah.
and the kids were like, they wanted to do sports, and it's like, well, as long as it doesn't interfere with this, as long as it doesn't interfere with that. And when she told me that, I was like, oh, okay, now I get it. So we start working. I'm like, all right, you guys could do baseball.
Mhm.
Bro, I never played baseball in my life, So somehow I start seeing how they coach. Tell me how I ended up being the president of the park. It's like just but I used that for God's greatness though, bro. I
Yeah.
started ministering to people there. Like I'm the type of person, bro. We could talk about sports, about whatever you want. Before our conversation's over, we're talking about God. So I'm like ministering to now I have people from the baseball park coming to church, the little families going to
Yeah.
camp, all this great goodness. God is just moving, bro. And
Hey, what year was this, Freddie, when you got your joint suspension?
ooh, to what was it? I 2013?
2013.
2013. Yeah.
Okay, so we're like 12 years in a ministry where
Yeah.
you're at today.
But I still can't they won't even allow me to expunge my record.
Mhm.
So that's one of the things I'm trying to do right now too. But they say like they just gave me trouble and this just not trying to okay it. So but yeah, I've been just focused. For me, even when I was in the neighborhood, bro, I was like 100% in. That was my life, that was everything. And I feel like once I give my life to God,
Mhm.
I'm all the way in, bro.
Yeah.
That's there's no turning back for me. It's like I've been there, done that. I've been to the pit of hell, and God rescued me from there, and I'm never
Mhm.
going back to that.
That's awesome, bro. Hey, so let me ask you, what's your relationship like with your father and your mother today?
Well, my dad ended up moving out, So he went to Texas
Uh-huh.
and he got remarried over there.
Oh, wow.
And my mom, we're good, but she still sees the old me.
Mhm.
Like she can't see what God has done in my life, right? Like because when it was the old me, like she had to take care of me. She was a big part of my life. Like
Mhm.
she was always there for me.
Yeah.
And now it's like it's funny because like she don't know how deep I'm into everything that I do. Like everybody that knows me, bro, is like they know, like, man, he's a man of faith and he prays and he believes and everything.
Mhm.
And I see my mom and we're talking. She's like, "You just have to have faith, mijo. You just gotta trust in God." I'm like, that's all I do, mom.
Yeah.
That's my whole life. But she don't see that yet. She
Mhm.
don't. She still sees, I guess, the old me, you know.
Mhm.
But for me, it was like this is what I tell everybody: the old me, he got life in prison, bro. He's gone.
Yeah.
That's it. Like the moniker we used to use, that's long and gone, you know?
Mhm.
Like I'm Freddy now. This is the new life that God gave me, and I'm gonna use it every day. And I take my kids camping. We went camping. We went to Big Sur, went camping over there, and it was like, when the heck did I ever think I was ever even gonna leave my city, let alone go camping, bro?
Yeah.
Like that's not for us, right? That was
Yeah.
not for us. And it was like, bro, that's when I really started feeling joy, bro.
Yeah.
Doing stuff with my family, going out and going to different places. That's the joy that God gives me to
Yeah.
realize the blessing that I have in my kids, the blessing that I have in my wife, the blessing to have an amazing wife that, bro, I ain't even tripping. Like, I know she's at home. I know she's at work. I don't have to be, oh, where you at? Who's
Mhm.
calling you? Bro, she's a woman of God. Like,
Amen.
she's a woman of God.
That's awesome, bro.
So
Heck yeah. So even though your father moved out, you haven't communicated with them? Like when he left, it was kind of like just
he kind of just like left it on me, like, hey, because at that time I had a sister, we're 6 years apart, and she had got pregnant, and he was like, you know what, it's your problem now. And so he took off. So I'm like, all right, bro, like whatever problems you have with you and my
yeah.
mom, that's you guys. But all right, you want to do you.
So you haven't communicated with them?
No, we talked once, bro. He was supposed to come down from Texas because, like, now, bro, right now at this point, I got 6 kids.
Mhm.
And I'm like, you're missing out on your grandkids' life, bro.
Yeah.
Like we're carrying our last name. That's our last name right there. I got my 4 boys, they're carrying your last name
Yeah.
and they don't even know you. And then so he was like all excited he was gonna come down, but he never did, bro.
Mm.
And
So have you had a chance? I mean, I'm thinking you've had a chance to like testify to him, like, "Hey, Dad, I'm no longer that guy, that gang member messing up in the streets, working. I got this family."
well, he has heard like from people, family members, stuff like that. Like
Mhm.
there's a lot of family that has just seen or heard of all the things that we're doing, through the grace of God,
Yeah.
how God has just changed our lives and everything. But he just, from my understanding, he had to give his life to Christ too.
Oh yeah.
So that's where I had reached out to him because I wanted like, oh, I was excited, like, oh man,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
But he just, and I understand, bro. He has a different life now,
Yeah.
and so sometimes it's hard for him too. So yeah, that's the only thing. My mom, she's still faithful, strong, and still living at the same house, bro. And the funny thing is, there's a room that has a broken door still, bro.
Mhm.
From when they have raided the house, she has not changed
Oh
that door, bro.
wow.
Like
She's
that door.
keeping that for memory's sake,
That's
huh?
like that's on time. That's
Yeah.
her. That's her thing where that's where she finds her comfort zone
Yeah.
in.
So Freddie, as of today, you're an assistant pastor, or you have your own church, or what? What's going on?
So everything's in seasons, right? So when I came out, we were in Covina. We were at the Taylor's house, an amazing church, bro, where I really met God and the Pastor Manny Rodriguez, really mentored me a lot, and I'm still in contact with him. So we were there for like 6 years, and then we felt a season of change, and so we ended up at a new church in Rancho, and I went out there and they needed help. So we started with the youth, doing all the events, ended up being the social pastor, food ministry, everything is really involved, really, really involved. And I always work construction, and that was my, you know, I work construction during the day, but I always focus on what's going on in the church, being so I was the social pastor there. until last year, bro. Last year, some a guy came to our church, and by this time, I since I got home, basically I was working with youth, so I
Mhm.
already have like 10 years working with youth, right? Being a youth
Yeah.
pastor, doing youth ministry, and just feeling like, man, like there's more we could do. Like there's more we could do. I always wanted to be an evangelist, bro, but I can't leave the state or whatever because of my record. And I wanted to be an evangelist. I was like, bro, they get to go out, preach a good word, and then all these people get saved, and that's it. It's
Mhm.
like I was like, man, I just want to go share my testimony, and that's it. And you see all this stuff, and God wouldn't let me, bro. God would not let me until this guy they came to our church, and they're talking about like how they're doing these things at the public high schools, bro. They're doing like rallies, right? And they're inside the public high school reading the Bible. And I'm like, what the heck? I thought that's against the law. You can't read
Mhm.
the Bible in school. Like, how are they doing this? And I felt a tug in my heart, bro. Like now. And I remember hearing it clearly, like now. And I'm like, what the heck? Now, what does that mean now? And I talked to him, and then he's like, yeah, bro, we're able to do the Christian Bible clubs in the schools.
Mhm.
He's but basically we give volunteers and go. He's all, but when it's volunteers, it's hard. So we try to make sure like someone's there consistently. And bro, it just I felt the tug in my heart, and it was now, like now. And I prayed about it and everything because for me, it's like if I'm gonna do something, I gotta lead by example. So I stepped out of everything that I was doing, bro. I stepped out of construction. I stepped out of the associate pastor position, everything that wherever I was getting income, I stepped out of. I said I'm gonna focus on this. So I met with him, and he's like, "All right." So they're doing the schools in San Bernardino, the public high schools,
Mhm.
right? So like every day we have one. Like we have Cajon on Mondays, Indian Springs, no, Carter High School, which is Rialto on Tuesdays, Indian Springs Wednesdays, San Bernardino High School Wednesdays, Pacific on Thursdays, and Shannon Hills on Fridays.
Mhm.
So what we do is there's already as long as the student makes up a Christian club, then they're able to invite us to go in there. So as long as there's like a kid that requested a club, we're able to go in there during lunch. So I started going in there, bro, and it was crazy because they had one set up already in San Bernardino High School. So that one already had his kids.
Mhm.
So he sent me to another high school, right? And I'm like, all right. So I'm in there just promoting at first, like walking around during lunch, talking to the students.
Yeah.
And for me, bro, like I'm not a type of person, bro. Like I'm just me. I'm transparent. I'm real, bro. I'm not like this big motivator speaker or
Mhm.
whatever. I'm just me. I'm transparent. But they found something they could relate to. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm that uncle that they have at their house. Like
Mm.
they felt they could relate. Like, so I'll we'll set up a little tent and a little table. Bro, and my little tent will always be full of kids, bro. They all just want to hang out and we're talking. And for me, I always felt in my heart is like love them right there where they're at.
Man, and this is a paid position?
It's part time.
Oh, okay. So I'm
So
like, man, you got 6 kids, bro.
well, that's
I was like, man, that's
That's where the faith comes in, brother.
yeah,
That's
amen.
where the faith comes in and that's the struggle. And I'll be honest with you, even to this day, bro, that is hard,
Yeah.
because I came from construction, bro. I was making 300 a day.
Mhm.
6 kids were good, to part-time, not nothing close to it. But when we're in those schools, bro, when we're in those schools and now it's like I had a club that had 4 students, now has 32 to 42 students because their friends are bringing their friends.
Amen.
And they tell the teacher, they're like, you know what? I don't go to church. I don't go nothing, but I come here because I feel something.
Amen.
We're praying for students, bro, and they're giving up drugs, they're giving up vaping, they're giving up drinking, they're giving up sex, bro, on their own, not because I'm telling them. I'm just giving them the word of God, and God is doing the work, bro. I'm just loving them where they're at.
That's right.
But it's the word of God, bro. I'll be reading something and like sometimes I'm like, oh, I went through it too fast, right?
Mhm.
Because I like to do the eye contact. So I'll read it and then try to look at you and make sure, like, we'll see what's hitting, we'll see what's not. And I'll be reading, bro, and I'm like, dude, I just went through it too fast. And I look up and they're like crying, bro. Like the word of God is just ministering to their hearts. And then they're like,
Yeah.
are you gonna preach on that next week? Because my friend really needs to hear this and they're
Mm.
going through it. And it's like, bro, we're ministering to over 251 students a week.
Oh wow.
at these schools where these kids are broken, bro. These kids
Yeah.
are like, they don't know that God loves them right there where they're at, bro. They've been
Yeah.
told that God doesn't love them. God is not for them, bro. This is, to them is like, you see what you have here? That's all you're ever gonna have. And I'm like, no,
Mhm.
don't let your surroundings judge where you're gonna be at. Is God, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm seeing that transformation. And that, bro, whenever I have those days of doubt, like, God, you know, like,
Yeah.
am I doing what you called me to do? And then I get to school and it's one of those days, bro, like somebody needs prayer and they're like,
Yeah.
thank you. And
It's
if it wasn't
awesome.
for you, and it's like, for me, it's like that God is moving, bro. And the word of God is very clear, bro, that
Amen.
the harvest is ready, but the workers are few. And
Hmm.
he even says, pray for the workers, not for the people. Every time we do an event,
Yeah.
people want to pray for the people that are going to come. And God's saying, the harvest is ready.
Yeah.
Pray for the workers because the workers are our few. It's a few that are really going to step into that,
Yeah.
to that. Are you going to trust me now?
Yeah.
Because every day I gotta trust like God, and I'm not even lying, bro. I'll get phone calls where, hey, I want to partner up with you. Hey, can I support you $500 a month? And I'm like, who does that, bro?
Yeah.
Who does that? Like that's only God, you know.
Yeah.
God, it'll
It's
be
God.
random people, bro, that I don't even know, and they'll be like, hey, we want to be a part of what you're doing. We want to make sure that you're able to do that every day with not worrying about how you're gonna pay for your bills.
That's awesome, bro.
And
Amen.
bro, those are, for me, that's just to continue to show that God is not a one hit wonder,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah.
A lot of times we want to stay in our testimony and this is what he did. And yeah, you know,
Yeah.
he's not a one hit one, bro.
Yeah.
It's every day, bro.
That's
Every
good
day
stuff right there.
he's just moving, bro. Every day
Amen.
is like I see miracles every day, even just us waking up, you know, it's a miracle. So
That's awesome, Freddie, man. I appreciate you coming on and sharing that, man, sharing that testimony of hope, bro. And, it's crazy because sometimes, we don't know why we're going through these circumstances and these trials. And it's like, man, I know I did a lot of wrong before, but man, are you really going to make
yeah,
me pay for it now with something I didn't do? And, when you look at it later on, and you think like, you know what, God was just building up my faith. God was preparing me for what I'm dealing with today.
yeah,
And that's when you like really your faith is just that much more secure, and just knowing that, you know what, God's will is not our will.
yeah.
And he's going to have us go through some things that, that are going to build us up.
Bro, and honestly, I'll tell you from the bottom of my heart,
Yeah.
even though it was so painful, I'm glad, bro, because God knew what I had to go through in order to change my heart. Because I was just
Yeah.
hard headed, bro.
It sounds like it,
I was
man. You
just
were a
hard headed,
straight
you know.
knucklehead.
But God knew that I had to go through that, bro.
Yeah.
Like I had to go through that. It was
God
painful, bro.
humbled you. He
It
really, really humbled you.
it painful for my family, painful for, you know, we could have lost everything, bro.
Yeah.
Kids, everything, and I had to go through that to break me, so He could rebuild me the way He wanted me to,
Amen.
right? Or else I wouldn't have, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. You would have still been the same prideful
Yeah.
Freddy, you know, waiting to get in chaos.
Or trying to fix it myself.
Yeah.
Well, I could,
Yeah. Like you said, though, you always had to be in control, and when you didn't have that, and that's when God could use us, when we just humble
yeah,
ourselves and broken vessels and be like, Lord, I'm your servant. I'm that pot of clay right
yeah.
there, mold me and shape me. But Freddie, man, thank you so much, man. We are going on 2 hours,
Oh,
bro. It
bro,
flew by
sorry
real quick.
about that,
Nah,
brother.
no, it's
Sorry
all
about
good,
that.
bro. It's all good. So, what I would like you to do, Freddie, man, if you don't mind, just a couple of minutes,
Yeah.
minute or 2 minutes, man. Look into this camera right here and close us out, bro. One last hit for that person that's watching still.
You know, for me, it's very important that to share that there is hope, right? Don't ever stop praying. If you have a loved one that you just feel that there's no hope, that they're not changing, don't stop praying. Don't stop praying. Keep on praying for your loved one. If you have a husband, if you have a son that's just going down the wrong path, just addicted to drugs, and just keep on praying. There's power in prayer. People don't understand how much power there is in prayer. A lot of times people just say, all I could do is pray for you. Like that's the main thing you could do for someone, is keep them in prayer. Because it took my wife 4 years of prayer, of constant attacks from the enemies. But yet, look at what God was able to do through that. You know, God hears our prayers, and God hears your prayers right now, no matter what you're going through, no matter how defeated or hurt or how you just feel hopeless or you feel like you just keep on saying the prayer over and over. God hears your prayers. He wants to hear that prayer from you. And I just pray that, right now that this message brought hope to somebody, right? That nobody's ever too far gone. I used to think I was too far gone. And the reason I like to share my testimony is not to say, like, oh, look at me, I'm a pastor now or anything. The only reason I got my credentials is like, dude, if somebody like me could do it, how much more could he do through you? Right. And that's my message. God is good. God is not a one-hit wonder. The same God we served yesterday and did the miracle yesterday, he's gonna do it today and he's gonna do it tomorrow. And you gotta hold on to that and know that you know what, when God is gonna call you to do something, he doesn't set you up for failure. He's gonna be with you and he's gonna surround you with the people that are gonna build you up and just help you grow in those areas. And that's why we're here. That's why we do stuff like this. That's why this podcast is here to help families that are going through it. And so we could show support any way that we can, that you're not alone through what you're going through. We're here to support everybody that going through something right now. Let them know that God loves them right there where they're at. They have not failed. It was not by your choice, right? For me, my mom was perfect. She didn't do nothing wrong. It was never her fault. It was my choices. But then, when finally God was able to do what he wanted to do in my life until I was completely broken, I was able to be restored and be used by him in the vessel and the tool that he wants me to be. And I'm just so grateful. And I just pray that, you find comfort and relief and hope in this message.
All right. Man, so once again, Freddie, thank you for coming on, man. I appreciate your time. I know you drove far, to
Yeah.
be here. Safe travels back home. For you that are still watching or going to watch later, don't forget to, like, share it, subscribe, and we'll catch you again. As a matter of fact, the next week, most likely, I probably won't have no guests because I'm doing a little traveling the next couple of weeks with my daughter who's getting ready to she's graduating this year, so we got to go visit some universities. So I'll be traveling with my daughter, and I got some people lined up the following week though, and the week to come, and some very interesting guests coming. Man, I was just hearing their stories, and once you see them, you're gonna recognize them, and it's a trip, man. So just just stay tuned and thank you for all the love, all the support. And you guys have a blessed week, man. God bless you guys.